Dyna Jordan Williams. Ranta Williams newydd greu gol I McManus. Jordan Williams!
Davies yn meddwl am yr ergyd. Yn ei gosod i'n ôl I Brobl. Brobl yn y gydio! I'r gornel ucha! Sebastian ymlaen. Brobl yn neud y rhediad mewn ag Young. Clark! Hyfryd gan Ben Clark.
Draws y sledge. A draws at Marriott o bell! Gwefreiddiol! Posteg gan Chris Marriott!
Clark ar y middle court. Chydig o le. Clark! Ni gosod i'n berffaith i'r gornel ucha.
Brobl, Brad Young, na le fan hyn I Young. Young yr ergyd! Codi hi fewn unwaith eto rôl. Fyddiedig yn ynwyd a Josh Taft. Y cyffyrddiad lleia oddi ar I goryn.
Y seintiau newydd ond yr un hen stori. Maen nhw'n paratoi I gipio'r bencampwriaeth gartre yn erbyn Met Caerdydd. Maen nhw rownd derfynol Cwpan Her yr Alban, rownd gyn-derfynol Cwpan Cymru yn erbyn Met Caerdydd hefyd. Maen nhw wedi codi un cwpan yn barod. Os yna 4 cwpan ar y ffordd iddyn nhw. Tymor yma, Tommy Morgan sy'n cadw cwmni I fi fan hyn yng Nghoes Oswell. Pnawn da, Tommy.
Pnawn da.
Yn allan o'r gyngrair, tymor diwetha, yr ail ar 15 o Fawrth. Maen nhw'n mynd I wneud y heddi o bosib os yn allan nhw, ar yr ail o Fawrth. Be mae hwnna'n dweud ni?
Blwyddyn nesaf Nadolig fydd y bencampwriaeth yn dod yma felly. Ond maen nhw'n cael tymor gwych hyn yn dwe. Ac yn sicr maen nhw'n eisiau cael 2 glws arall a'r tlws yma ennill hwnna praw yma.
Os unrhyw ffordd mae'r Met yn gallu stopio, nhw'n gweud y tîm diwetha I ennill yn ei herbyn nhw yw Met, nôl y mis Chwefror blwyddyn diwetha, ond y tro diwetha oedd Met fan hyn 8 wythnos yn ôl. Be ildio nhw 8? Sy'n nhw o beth yn nhw?
Oes, mae gobeith nhw. Yn ei gofio, da nhw nifer y chweir ddim yn chwarae yn erbyn nhw tro diwetha. Felly mae hwnna'n ffactor, gathen nhw dyn wedi hala bant o'r cae hefyd. A hwnna'n neud tipyn o waniaeth. A heddi fi'n teimlo, bydd rhaid I Met roi llaw lawr a gweud reit ni chwarae chi mewn pythefnos hefyd yng Ngwpan Cymru, felly mae rhaid nhw roi perfformiad alan yn barod yn mynd y gem yni.
Ni'n cyrraedd y cyfnod bach na yn y tymor. Lot yn digwydd o ran y cyngreiriau a'r cwpanau. Felly mae'r seintiau'n gallu cipio'r bencampwriaeth pnawn ma, a dyma pam. Oedd angen I Ceicona ennill yn y bala. Neithiwr gêm agos dros ben, ond y bala atho hi. Cic o'r smotyn, Newell yn taro. Siomi Ceicona yn amlwg, ond tipyn yn gynlyniad I bala, Tommy.
Ie, sicr mae bala tîm newydd gyda'r tymor yma, a mae wedi cymryd rhywfaint o amser iddyn nhw ddod i'r adwy, ac yn weddar awr mae tîm Colin Caton wedi gwella tipyn o rhoi rhediad gyda'i gilydd.
Yn chwalu dre newydd penwthnos diwetha, a seintiau newydd wedyn ni'n chwalu Ceicona. Caernarfon mae'n ddrwg dy fi penwthnos diwetha, a reina'n chwarae neithiwr hefyd yn erbyn I gilydd dre newydd a Caernarfon. A Caernarfon atho hi hefyd ar yr ofal, 3 pwynt pwysig dros ben iddyn nhw. A neges bwysig am hwnni hefyd yr ildio 8 yn erbyn y seintiau. Dyma fel mae pethau'n edrych o ran y brig, edrychwch ar y bwlch na. Rhwng yr ail a'r cyntaf, tipyn o fwlch rhwng ail a trydydd hefyd bod y bala di ennill neithiwr. Nawr, lawr yn y gwylodion wedyn ni, mae pethau di newid. O'n i'n clywed bod Everton wedi cipio 4 pwynt wythnos yma, heb hyd yn oed cicio pêl, ond mae Pontypridd wedi colli 3 pwynt arall, sy'n golygu bod nhw wedi colli 9 pwynt nawr. Eto am chwaraewr o ddim yn gymwys, mae hyn yn mynd ôl I dymor diwetha. O ran beth sy'n digwyddodd ar y cae, mae mor gymleth, ond eto ar y cae, fel chwaraewr neu rheolwr fel Gavin Allen, maen nhw wedi bod yn neud mor dda yn ddiweddar Pontypridd. Sut mae hynny'n effeithio chi?
Wel, yn siomedig iawn, ond mae 2 ffordd I edrych yn ni, fi'n credu edrych hwnnw ar y ffordd bosib, mae'r byd yn erbyn i'r hyn o bryd, rhaid ni wella, rhaid ni ennill y gemau, byddwn edrych I ennill yn pen y bont, a wedyn gem bwysig fawr yr wythnos ar ôl ni yn Clwyd yn y Parc yn erbyn Aberystwyth.
Oes, mae'n mynd I fod yn tipyn o gem, wrth gwrs. A reit, dewch ni glywed gan rheolwr y seintiau newydd nesaf. Ceisio ennill y bencampwriaeth heddi am y trydydd tymor yn olynol. 3 tîm sydd wedi ennill yn erbyn o Tommy dros y 3 tymor diwetha. Cwestiwn cyds, gyd I feddwl am hwnna. Tra bod ni'n clywed gan reolwr y seintiau, gewch yr ateb rôl ni'n clywed gan Craig Harrison.
Well, Craig, it's only the 2nd of March. Can I ask you for your thoughts the first thing when you woke up this morning and realised that you've got the opportunity to get your hands on another title today?
Yeah, it's always pleasing, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, I think a lot of people maybe think that, you know, especially the club's been so successful, and that we don't take it, you know, seriously. But it's it's the most important one. It's the next one. It's one that everyone will cherish, and it means a hell of a lot. Every single trophy, every single game. The mentality we've got at the football club, and certainly my mentality, staff's mentality, and obviously the players' mentality. It's that it's really important, and and it's a great opportunity, and something in football you should never take for granted, and and never get sick of winning trophies if we perform today.
And when you're consistently winning trophies as well, does the buzz ever diminish at all, and how do you stop from getting complacent?
No, it doesn't. Not for me anyway, and I don't think it does for the players. And it's something that I feel is really important, that we make sure that we drill into players, because me, obviously, it was a long time ago when I played, but one day I was a footballer, and the next day I had to retire, and it could be your last trophy, it could be your last opportunity to win something. You never know, and obviously as well, the time I had away from here, it's well documented that it wasn't a very successful time or enjoyable time at Hartlepool, and you get the reality of that you go to another club, and it's not always winning games, winning titles, winning cups. So I think it's probably one thing that I've probably changed a little bit since I've come back. I've still got a desire, still got a drive, but to enjoy the moments a little bit more than probably what I did when I was younger.
Craig, all the best this afternoon. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Craig Harrison yn edrych yn ôl. Edrych Daniel Farker hefyd, rheolwr Leeds. Mwy o Gymru chwarae Leeds ar hyn o bryd. Mae hwnna'n anheg. Mae hwnna'n 4 Cymru yn dechrau'r seintiau heddi. Nes i checio gyda llaw. Ddim eisiau row gan y seintiau newydd. Diddorol clywed Craig Harrison fyna. Fel mae fe di newid ers dychwelyd y seintiau newydd hefyd.
Ie, fi'n credu, chi'n datblygu fel reolwr a gath ei spel bant yma, felly nath ei ddysgu rhywfaint dan o'i hunan fyna, hefyd pan oedd y bant yma. Wedi dod nôl, a mae'n rhaid chi'n gweud, brwch yn beth yn mynd nôl, ond mae wedi dod nôl, a fi'n credu tro hyn, mae wedi newid ffordd o chwarae'r tîm. Mae'n edrych am cyflymdra yn y cefn, yn ganol cae, i fyny yn y llinell flan. Mae wedi cael cysadleuaeth, mae Brad Young wedi dod fewn, bod Becton McManus ar dechrau tymor, ni'n meddwl, hebddo fe, bydd siawns gyda rhywun arall yn gipio'r gyngrair, dim gobeith. Mae wedi gwneud job wych.
Credwch ar yr ystadegau, maen nhw'r frig y tabl, maen nhw wedi sgorio mwy na pawb, maen nhw wedi ildio llai na pawb, maen nhw'n mynd i ennill yr esgyd air, y faneg air o ran y gol geidwad gore. O pob agwedd, os na wendid na ryle?
Y dorf. Na'r wendid, i fod holl yn onest. O'n i'n meddwl ar y ffordd fyny, fi'n cofio mynd i Porthmadog i weld Bangor yn ennill y gyngrair, 3,000 o bobl yna. Dyn nhw'n gweddio yn rhywbeth fel yn fan hyn hyn o heddi.
Ateb da iawn, Tom. Os gwaith ma na wendid, ni wedi chwilio'r gwendid. Ond mae'r eisteddau newydd, mae'n hyfryd, mae'r cyfleusterau yn wych. Byddai'n braf llenwi'r heddi ychydig. Yn fwy, dewch i ni glywed gan reolwr y Met nesaf. Fel ni wedi gweud, y tîm diwetha i ennill yn erbyn y seintiau newydd yn uwch Gyngred Cymru, hynny yw, nôl y mis Chwefror blwyddyn diwetha. Dewch i ni glywed gyda Ryan Jenkins.
Ryan, mae pawb yn ymwybodol o beth yw'r wobr o bosib o ran y seintiau newydd ar ddiwedd pnawn yma. Ond all Met Caerdydd i rhwystro nhw?
11 yn erbyn 11, mae'n fy gêm pêl-drod. Ni'n gwybod beth yw'r tasi o flaen i heddi, ac sim ots beth yw'r wobr ar ddiwedd. Mae 90 munud i ni wario gêm o pêl-drod, ac mae'n edrych ymlaen at wario gêm fan hyn heddi. Mae'n mynd i fod yn anodd, mae wastad yn anodd yn erbyn y seintiau, ond nawn ni'n gorau glas i cael pwyntiau heddi i Met Caerdydd.
Ydych chi'n gallu cymryd hyder allan o'r ffaith mae chi yw'r tîm diwetha i guro nhw yn y gyngrair?
Ie, ond ni wedi colli hefyd sawl gwaith, so mae'n mynd i fod yn tasg aruthrol o anodd, ond o hyn ymwybodol, ni gallu curo unrhyw un yn y cyngrair yma, ac mae cynllun dyn ni i trial upseto nhw heddi, ond be fi'n bwysig i fi yw ein perfformiad ni, ac bod ni'n gweithio ar y stwff sydd angen i wneud heddi, ac gawn ni weld beth sy'n digwydd ar ddydd y dydd.
Ryan Jenkins, braf clywed fel arfer gan Ryan Jenkins. Ni'n siarad digon am y seintiau, beth am Met, allan o fe nôl y trydydd safle heddi, y 4 safle mae'n ddrwg dy fi uwch ben Cynarfon, ni'n nhw'n cael digon o glod am beth maen nhw'n wneud?
Na, dyn nhw ddim. Mae Ryan Jenkins yn dawel iawn wedi gwneud swydd wych ers gyrru mi drosodd o Christian Edwards, ond nhw fod yn y 6 am 5 tymor cyn ddod fe ddod wrth y lliw, a nawr maen nhw yn y 6 am rail dymor yn olynol. Maen nhw bod gêm bwysig mewn pethefnos, fi'n gwybod fi'n pwysleisio yna, ond y peth yw fel reolwr heddi, bydd e'n edrych i gystadlu. Chi moyn eich chwaraewr chi gystadlu yn erbyn tîmau fel y Seintiau Newydd, a fi'n siŵr os gen nhw rhywfaint o hyder wrth yna prawn mas gen nhw gynnyniad da yn erbyn nhw.
Mae'n ddiddorol, oedd un adeg rhyw 5 mlynedd nôl, o'ch chi enwi tîm y Met 1-1 ar 10 nag o'ch chi, oedd e mor gyson. Mae tipyn di newid ers hynny, mae Emlyn Lewis dal, mae Elliot Evans ar ein. Mae'n fel sy'n nhw'n dawel bach, jyst i dod â chreuwyr newydd trwyddo.
Ie, fi'n credu mae fe wedi datblygu'r tîm ni we. A hefyd, wy'n hoffi'r ffordd maen nhw'n chwarae. Fi wedi gweld nhw'n 2 gwaith na 4 tymor yma. Ac fod nhw'n ymysodol, maen nhw'n dda. Maen nhw'n gweud yn y 6 am dîm coleg, maen nhw'n neud yn wych.
So, as in, chwarae teg. Tommy, diolch yn iawn am y cwmni. Mae Tommy ar fi'n mynd fyny i'r pwynt sylwebu i ymuno gyda'n tîmoedd sylwebu ni. Thyn ni weld y 2 dîm yn paratoi i ddod i'r cae os na gwpan yn mynd i gael ei godi ar ddiwedd y pnawn eto. Reit, yn Saesneg, yn aros amdanoch chi, mae Bryn Thomas gyda Chris Hughes, cyn reolwr y dre newydd, gan i sgwrs dy fe hanner amser, ac yn aros amdanoch chi yn Gymraeg, yn aros am Tommy hefyd. Mae cyn ymysodwr Cymru yma, Malcolm Allen, gyda Nick Parry.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you, Dylan. Welcome one and all to Park Hall for the coronation, surely, of the new Saints yet again for a 3rd season in a row. We're on the verge, on the brink of a 16th title in total for the new Saints, a 10th for Craig Harrison. A victory here this afternoon for the champions would make them champions once again. Mind you, Cardiff Met were the last team to beat the new Saints. Here's the team news for the new Saints. No changes at all from the team that thumped Caernarfon 8-1. There's one change I should add. It's Jordan Marshall who was injured, and Clark comes in. Ben Clark. It's Met who are unchanged from the match against Connors Quay last time out. Ryan Jenkins keeping faith in the same 11 with Finn Skiverton and Lewis Reed up front.
Afternoon, Bryn. Afternoon, everyone. Looking at the team lineups here, obviously Jordan Marshall out, so we expect Danny Redmond to go to left back, and same shape for TNS. They don't change. Sizovic off the right, Brovel off the left, and that midfield 3 with Brad Young up front. And then Cardiff Met, we're not sure whether they'll go with a back 5 or a back 4. They warmed up with a back 4, but we'll see how that looks. They played a diamond last week at Connors Quay, so it'll be interesting to see how they start and when the game kicks off. Yeah, Brad Young there, top goal scorer for TNS, 19 goals, a real threat since he's come in from Aston Villa. Really good player, one that Cardiff Met will have to keep an eye out for. His movement's excellent, and he's been a real addition to the league, and a really good signing by Craig for TNS. And I'm sure he's going to give the Cardiff Met defence something to think about today, and I'm sure they'll have their work cut out. But been really, what he's come in since he's come into the league, he's made a real impression in Emlyn. Obviously played for Cardiff Met for years, and he's a strong player, strong character, been in the league for a long time, and Wales Sea captain as well, so I'm sure he'd be looking to keep Brad Young quiet, but it's going to be very difficult for him today. And there's Craig there, who's looking to seal another title for himself. I think it's his 8th or 9th title today, so look, I'm sure he'll be wanting to get the 3 points and get the job done today.
Thank you, Chris. That's Chris Hughes there, former Newtown manager, keeping me company this afternoon. And the man in the middle is James Walker. It's his first JD Premier match this season. He did do 2 or 3 last season. He's been in the Cymru North, and almost, Chris, it's a baptism of fire for James Walker, who you know very, very well. Yeah, I know James from similar areas. He's been in the league for a long time. I think he's had a really awful luck with injuries. It's good to see him back and good to see him in the league, and I think he's been 4th official for a little bit, so it'll be a good opportunity for him today in front of the live cameras. Well, the new Saints and their fans expectant of the 24th victory in a row. They're aiming towards their own record, their own world record of 27 games between August 2016 and February 2017. And if they win and they come to 27 games, that'll be the final of the Scottish Challenge Cup against Airdrie in a few weeks' time. And it's the visitors who kick us off in their familiar colours. And Chris, we're coming here expecting a coronation. Surely that's going to happen, isn't it? Yeah, well, look, they're very, very, very strong at home, and you can see straight away, Josh Daniels trying to get out on that side, and that'll be a key one today. The 2 fullbacks for TNS. It looks like Cardiff Met have gone with a
A back five with Craven off the right, Joe Evans off the left, and Emlyn Lewis in the middle, with Chubb and McCarthy as wing backs, and then Elliot Evans just in front of Tom Price and Dixon Cabango, with Lewis Rees and Finn Skiverton up front. So it's going to be they look like they're going to sit in a little bit, and I suppose when you come to TNS, two decisions: you press high or try and sit in and nick it. And look, there'll be pressure on the ball in the middle of the pitch, but for TNS it'll be trying to get Josh Daniels and Danny Redmond out in the fullback areas.
Yep, they're understanding down the right hand side, Josh Daniels and Adrian Sislovic this afternoon. And it's Sislovic who's the captain, by the way, of the New Saints. And this is Danny Davis. And you know what, Chris? Discussing Danny Davis before the match, I mean, if there's a Rolls-Royce player in the league, it's Danny Davis for me.
Yeah, know Danny really well from a similar area, and I think Mark Jones always mentions his cricketing skills as well, doesn't he? And he's a really good cricketer, just one of those annoying people who's really good at every sport. But yeah, he's done really well. Moved slightly inside. Danny's always been a sort of a right back or a midfield player, but Craig's been playing him centre half this year, and he's got good abilities, good pace, can reads the game really well, good in the air as well, and struck a good partnership with Josh Pask.
Yep, not the tallest of players, Danny Davis, but as you were saying, he does read the game really, really well. But, in the opening 2 minutes, it's the visitors who have been grabbing the possession, and it's back with Alex Lang in goal. His 90th consecutive league game, by the way, for the Mets keeper. And he just gives the ball away cheaply there to Leo Smith. And this is Danny Redmond, who's just dropped into that left wing back position this afternoon. And to Ryan Brobble.
Yeah, you can see straight away from Cardiff Met that they're not really engaging until it gets into their half, which a lot, I'm sure it's an issue and a problem that Craig and TNS have faced countless times, where teams come in and try and bank up and get behind the ball, and they're doing that, and just trying to engage the ball. Now you can see Louis Rees is trying to engage Danny Davis. So for TNS it'll be patience, discipline, keep probing, keep passing and try and open them up. And then for Cardiff Met it'll just be staying in their shape, and then trying to, if they can nick the ball and try and get TNS in on the counter.
Yeah, looking for Brad Young there, the top scorer. 19 goals in 19 games in the league for Brad Young, 4 of them against Cardiff Met, so he knows where the back of the net is, and particularly against this opposition. This is Pask. It's just that patient build-up once again, not afraid of going back to Connor Roberts.
No, they use Connor really well. It's always been a thing of TNS over the years, Bryn, where they've used the goalkeeper. They did it for years with Paul Harrison.
Lovely turn by Brad Young, and he had Sislovic with him. It's just carried out by Price up to Skiverton.
Yeah, he showed his quality there, Young, didn't he? Just got Dixon Cabango just a little bit tight, and he felt him and span him, just couldn't get a shot off.
Yeah, here's that turn once again. He just left Cabango, didn't he? And was just shut down eventually. It was a good challenge at the back there.
Yeah, he's certainly sharp, as we alluded to before. Bryn, he's come into the league, he's showed great quality, been really, really, really impressed with him. He scored some really good goals, and when you score 19 goals in a league, especially in this league, you've certainly got something about you.
Challenge there on Chris Craven, former TNS player, by the way. Chris Craven, as is Lewis Rees. So just returning to Park Hall and just held up there by Rory Holden. Elliot Evans. Here's Pask. Just read the play there.
And that's one thing when you got Josh Pask and Danny Davis playing, Bryn, you can defend a little bit higher because they've got really good pace, so they don't mind being left 1v1. And I know it's something that TNS have done over the last probably 2 or 3 months with playing those two, is they can defend 1v1, and it allows everyone else to press the game and try and win the ball back.
Well, Ryan Astles is out with a long-term injury, so I presume, Chris, they've had to change in a way the way they do defend.
Yeah, I mentioned before about putting Danny there, probably maybe out of more necessity really, because they had injuries to Ryan Astles and Blaine Hudson, but he's certainly done well in there and struck up a decent partnership with Josh Pask.
Ball just given away there by Price. This is Smith, just the fulcrum in midfield to birthday boy Danny Redmond, 33 today. Brad Young, opportunity here. It was Rory Holden with the opportunity. It's Daniels just biting in the tackle. Space on the far side, Sislovic. 6 minutes played. It's the New Saints just turning the screw here. Lovely play, ball back in, looking for the run of Young. First corner kick of the match.
Yeah, again, Brad Young, he started the game well. He's causing problems. He's just dropping into that little pockets and people can't go with him, and he just gets on the half turn and slides in Rory Holden. Just probably doesn't get enough power in his shot and it's blocked. But yeah, last minute or so, couple of things happening for TNS, and now they've got a corner.
And there's Danny Redmond, who's gone over. Top assists for the New Saints, by the way. 12. Is there a 13th to be here? Whips it in. It's a deep one. Lang, just under pressure, under the bat. And it's Emlyn Lewis. And, wins out against Leo Smith. Lewis plays the ball, looking for the run of match. Too much on that one.
Oh, that was a chance then, Brian. The counter-attack was on. The men flowing forward. Cardiff met, now they're defending again. But you don't get many opportunities against TNS, and I'm sure Ryan will be really disappointed with that. They had Elliot Evans and Louis Rees in forward position. They just couldn't find the man.
Redmond, deemed to be a fair challenge from the referee, Mr. Walker. Elliot Evans just caresses the ball down the line, looking for the run of it was Tom Price who was there. And as you were saying, Chris, they've just got to take advantage. They're not going to get that many opportunities, are they? They've just got to take advantage of anyone that they can.
Yeah, of course. Look, the game's going to look like this. I think we've already seen it in the first, 6-7 minutes. This is how the game's going to look pretty much, I would imagine, for most of it. And when you play TNS, and obviously being involved in the league for a long time, coming up against them as many times as you do, you're going to have probably 30% possession during the game, 35 maybe. TNS will dominate the ball. So when you've got the small amount that you have to make use of it. It is difficult. It's easier said than done, because they do put pressure on you when they lose the ball, but you've got to try and take care of that first pass and try and get your runners in. And we saw the opportunity then that the Cardiff Met had on the counter-attack and just didn't quite make the most of it. But there might be more opportunities, and they've got to try and make that count.
I know you wouldn't promote yourself, but you are the most successful manager, I think, ever to come to Park Hall. Was it 4 wins you had here? How do you do it? What's the secret of success to beat the New Saints here?
It's a great question.
Oh, hold on for Brobble. Oh, straight at the keeper.
Yeah, that was a chance, wasn't it? He just found him with his quality. You'd expect him to hit the net there. Ryan Brobble, one of the league's best players, and just sat up for him nicely on the half volley, and he hasn't been able to direct it either side of Alex Lang. Great pass by Rory Holden, good touch, and just sits up a little bit for him. But yeah, a good opportunity for TNS.
Back to the question. It's more.
I was hoping you'd avoid that. I was hoping to avoid it, to be honest, because look, it's really difficult. People say that, I think we've won 4 games, but we've had a lot of defeats here as well, quite heavy ones. But yeah, it's tough. I think you've just got to try and stay in the game for as long as you can, and there's no secret. We just talked about it then. When you get your moments, you've got to try and really hurt TNS, and it's very it's very difficult. It's easier said than done, because they are that machine. Their record speaks for itself. But if you can try and hurt them on the counter attack, and if you can get your noses in front as well, it helps. It gives the players confidence that they can go and get a result here, because it is a tough place to come.
Approaching the 10-minute mark, still goalless. The league trophy is here, by the way, and should the New Saints win and get the 3 points, that will guarantee them the title. Then there will be a presentation at the end of the match, medals and everything. And the dignitaries are here in preparation, in anticipation, as Brobble just plays. He's got Young in the middle. Ball into Young! Oh! Brad Young. Well, you'd have put your mortgage on that one, Chris Hughes.
Yeah, I said it just as he was crossing it in goal, knowing how good he is and his record and the goals he scored. But again, fantastic. Rory Holding, great ball. This should be the thing when you play a back three against TNS or a back five. That space down the sides of the centre halves in between the wing backs, great from Brobble, great pick out, and as the ball's going across, Bryn, you're thinking it's a goal. I said it myself, and it's it sat up on him a little bit, but with his high standards, he'll be thinking that's a really good chance to make it 1-0.
And two brilliant passes, as you said, from Rory Holding, and that cross on the half volley from Ryan Brobble is well worth the entrance fee. Brad Young. Well.
Yeah, it's a couple of times Holden's got on the ball in that sort of right pocket, and because he's left-footed, he can come inside and deliver good passes, and he's done that a couple of times to Brobble and to Young as well. So he certainly started the game well.
Redmond, it's another ball through to Young. Lang was out. What's the decision from Mr. Walker? And there's a yellow card for Alex Lang, and he's got no complaints at all.
And we could see up here the movement from Brad Young's exceptional. He just pulls Emlyn Lewis towards the ball and then spins in behind him. It's a fantastic ball, and he just gets there before you can see it. Just great movement, and he just gets the wrong side of Emlyn, and and Lang comes out and takes him out, and it is a yellow card, and it gives TNS a free kick in a dangerous position.
Redmond's interested, Brobble is interested. Well, the keeper's down here. So
I think the referee got it right. I think it is a yellow card. There was enough defenders around to make sure it wasn't a red card.
Yeah, that was the question, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it is a yellow card, and because of the defenders around, I don't think it was a goal scoring opportunity. But we'll see. This is dangerous with Ryan Brobble with his quality. But yeah, just going back to that, he started really brightly. Brad Young, he's pulled off a couple of times, got the ball to feet, and then Emlyn Lewis has gone in tight with him. He thinks he's going to get the ball, and then he's ran him in behind. So he can vary his game. He's comfortable coming short, and he's comfortable going long. So it's a really good start, and something we talked about at the start of the game about how effective he is, and he certainly started in that manner.
Well, Ryan Brobble is certainly interested in this one. He's got 13 goals this season as Ryan Brobble, 3 of them against Met. Danny Redmond has moved away, so Danny Redmond's just to the right of the ball there. So 4-5 in the wall. Emily now just moves out of the way. Brobble! And it hit Price. Smith. This is Holden whips the ball in once again, and it was Brad Young with a header once again. Another opportunity for the league's top scorer.
Yeah, again, Holden and Young link up. We talked about it probably 3 or 4 times in the first 13 minutes, but it's something that I'm sure Ryan will be a little bit worried about, that because that Rory Holden is starting to influence the game, and whether it's Dixon Cabango can get a little bit closer to him and start to affect him and stop him from having an influence on the game, because if he carries on, TNS are going to get their noses in front.
And after that opening, what was it, 3-4 minutes where Met had most of the possession, it's been one-way traffic. In the subsequent 10, Pask and Danny Davis was comfortable, so comfortable at the back. Young. First time ball through to Holden. Holden leaves it off again for Young. Young, he was looking for Brobble, too much on it, but the intention was there, the idea was there, just didn't work out.
Yeah, again, I feel like I can repeat myself, but Holden and Young again linking up. You just see that chance again. It's a great ball in. As soon as he comes inside, he's going to deliver it. He's got good quality, Rory Holden, with his left foot. And yeah, again, with Brad Young, with his standards and what he's done this year, I'm sure he'd be thinking he's got to score that again. He's had 2 real good chances now. The one that hit the post and the header.
Chubb. With the header to Skiverton. Skiverton looking for Lewis Rees, his partner up front, who we've rarely mentioned in the opening 15 minutes or so. The former TNS player. It's a cold, damp afternoon here on the outskirts of Oswestry. Redmond ball looking forward for Young into the box. Oh, lovely touch, and that's over the line. And Brad Young his 20th goal in 20 league games. TNS, well, they're a machine. Brad Young, he's a goal machine.
Yeah, we can't say it hasn't been coming, has it? I think he's threatened a couple of times, and then he just gets in behind. Real good movement again, and had the awareness just to know where the keeper was coming and just tow it past him. But look, this time it's Danny Redmond again, just moves off Emlyn Lewis, fantastic movement, takes his touch and then waits for the goalie to come out, bounces the defender, good finish, tows it past him, and that's TNS in the lead 1-0, and I can't say it hasn't been coming, Bryn.
No, they've been knocking on the door, and that door is firmly opened, and Emlyn Lewis, you've got a feel for him, he tried his best but just couldn't get there.
The pass from Danny Redmond, how many times have we seen Danny Redmond over the last however many years produce balls like that where he just fades it round and the centre half and can't get there? It's a great ball, and look, Young has been threatening to open his account, and he's finally done it, so I'm sure he'll be pleased with that. But good start from TNS. It's a problem that they're used to teams coming here and playing in a sort of a 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, and how they deal with that, and you can see them, they've set about their task really, really well very early already.
Young, it was Leo Smith who was in with a header, ball just out to Redmond once again. Our lovely interchange with Brobble, too much on that one, and it's just that incisive passing, Chris, isn't it? They just move players around, move teams around, and they just find a way through every time.
Yeah, it's something that they've become used to over the years, and being patient and finding and probing and passing, and you've seen when the quality that they've got from Redmond and Holden and Brobble, they'll find the forward players if they keep making the runs, and that's one thing about Young. He's had 2 chances that you probably feel he should have done better with, but he's kept going and then got his goal.
Good play by Craven to Cabango. It's back with Alex Lang. Rees holds the ball up and looks for his partner Skiverton, and Connor Roberts, sweeper keeper.
Been here before, Bryn, many times in Cardiff Met shoes, where you set your plan out and they'll probably feel like they've started okay. Just the next 5 minutes now is really, really, really important for Cardiff Met. They don't want to go 2-0 down and staring down the barrel, so it'll be stay in your shape, don't try and chase the game, they don't have to go out and try and score in the next 5 minutes, just make sure that they're in the game, and even if it's 1-0 at half time, you'd take that. So next 5 minutes really important for Cardiff Met. Good from Louis Rees there, just got hold of the ball a little bit, just got Cardiff Met up the pitch, which is important, and he's going to have to do that for them this afternoon with Finn Skiverton.
Staring down the barrel, you said. Well, they've stared down that barrel twice this season already, Met. And they've had both barrels. 8-0 they lost here back on the 6th of January. They did have many, many injuries, it must be said. Emlyn Lewis was one who was out. And they also lost 5-1 away from home. A home measure. The New Saints won 5-1 away from home. As Holden goes in with Lang once again. Holden just scampers over. Oh, lovely flick to Brobble. Brobble just goes past Chubb. And it's Holden just under pressure, finds Brobble, he's got Redmond with him. Holden, Pask, back to Brobble, looking to curl the ball, possibly Brobble, can he create space for the shot? Then just gives the ball away, and it's Price out to Rees. It was just Josh Daniels who just makes it look so nonchalant, doesn't he?
And that's another thing probably with TNS, that their appetite to get the ball back, and again, but that was another opportunity for Cardiff Met on the counter, and here TNS come again now with Brad Young.
He's got Ben Clark in the middle, he's got Sislovic there as well, and he's got Emlyn Lewis as well. Good tackle by Leo Smith. He does a lot of that, doesn't he, Chris? Leo Smith, just that sort of leg work in midfield, if you wish.
Yeah, he's probably had a bit of a role change, I think, since he's come to TNS. He was always someone who got forward a little bit and tried to get in the box and create things, but he's had a bit. Craig seems to have played him a little bit deeper and try and get on the ball and start things off, and with his his physicality, he can get around the pitch and make that type of tackle. But Cardiff Met have done okay since the goal. They've stayed in the game. There's been no dramas, and that's important as well. Just a couple of times on the counter-attack where I'm sure Ryan will be a little bit disappointed in terms of that final pass, but they've grown into the game a little bit in the last couple of minutes, which is good.
20 minutes played, and it's the New Saints en route to their 16th championship. Leading 1-0, Brad Young's goal on the 15-minute mark, after missing a glaring open goal from a lovely pass from Ryan Brobble. Price. McCarthy's free on the far side. This is Joe Evans. And the New Saints just being patient, just keeping possession, just possibly slowing things down a little.
Yeah, it's good. Listen, take the sting out of the little bit of the game, try and disrupt the rhythm and get some passes in and keep the ball. They've got a back three, so they can work the ball along that. They've got their wing backs in relatively high positions with McCarthy and Chubb. So, yeah, just keep the ball, using the goalkeeper, bouncing it across the pitch, that's fine.
Cabango just gives the ball away, and it's Brad Young. That was inevitable. And Dixon Cabango, he will not want to see the highlights. And with 21 minutes played, it's a second for Brad Young, it's a second for the New Saints.
Yeah, a bit of commentator's curse there, I think, from me, but there was no dramas. It was fine. They were keeping the ball, into the goalkeeper, out to Emily Lewis, out to Joe Evans, and then he's just tried to do a half turn. It's probably not on there. He's got to go back to Emily Lewis. And look, when you make mistakes like that against TNS, they punish you. They've done it for years. And Young again, he's not going to turn down that opportunity. Good from Ben Clark. Seized the opportunity and towed it in. And look, Brad Young isn't going to miss from there.
Nope. So his 21st goal in 20 league games. That's 28 for the season in all competitions for the league's top scorer, and he doesn't miss those from there. We've seen them so many times this season from the edge of the area where he just curls the ball into the corner past the diving keeper. And that's his 6th goal against the Met.
Yeah, we talked before, didn't we, about staying in the game if you Cardiff Met and 2-0 down after 23 minutes. It's it feels like a long way back. It does feel like a long way back, but just again trying to just stay in the game. I said it before, just stay in the game, no panic, and then try and get to half time. It's otherwise, I've been here before, Bryn, and it gets messy. It can get really messy.
Yeah. Free kick whipped in, looking for Emlyn Lewis, out by Danny Davis, falls for Craven. Craven just lofts the ball and shows the confidence of Danny Redmond. Under pressure, he was between two players. He had Elliot Evans behind him, and he just cushions the ball back to Connor Roberts.
You can see we're really high up here, and Bryn, and you can see how wide TNS make the pitch when they've got the ball. They're wide players, their fullbacks are really wide on the touchline, and try to make the pitch as big as they can and try and spread the game and try and work Cardiff Met and work the spaces. And it can be a tough afternoon if you're not compact and you don't stay in your jobs and stay in your slots if you're Cardiff Met. But they've done okay. Ryan will be really, really disappointed with the second goal, and they've just started to steady the ship a little bit, and they go, an unforced error really, and sort of gift TNS that second goal.
Sislovic just turns under pressure. Smith. There's Danny Davis. Hask. Brad Young. His 2 goals just separating the sides as we approach the 25-minute mark. Lovely touch, lovely control from Leo Smith. Leo Smith, Chris, he's a confidence player, isn't he? You know, if he's got the confidence, he can do little things like that. And obviously Craig has instilled that confidence in him.
Yeah, as we touched on before, he's slight position change, and that's down to Craig and the coaching staff here. And he's gone a little bit deeper and got on the ball. And he's a player that come into the league at a couple of loan spells. I think when he first came in from Wrexham, I think Carnarvon and Llandudno a few years ago, and then obviously got his move into TNS and into the league, and obviously played for Wales C and things like that. But yeah, he's something that just that protection just in front of Davis and Pask, and it gives them an option when they've got the ball as well.
Craven, Cabango, only want to atone for his earlier error, which led to Brad Young's second goal. The 7th in all competitions against the Mets, by the way. 6 in the league. Davis to Daniels.
You've seen it now. It's really tough playing up front against TNS. So, Louis Rees and Finn Skiverton doing a lot of running, and the balls are playing up, being played over them and playing behind them, and they've just got to stay in and just got to keep working hard. We touched on before, they may get 1 or 2 opportunities in the game. They've just got to stay in it. You can feel a bit thankless, and they're running and running like Louis Rees is now, trying to close stuff down. And they're working ever so hard, but they've just got to stay in the game, and hopefully they'll get some sort of opportunity at some point during the game.
Highlights programme, by the way, on S4C on Monday night at 9:30. You can see all the highlights of the weekend matches, including last night, both games last night. Carnarvon beating Newtown 1-0, same scoreline as Bala beat Connors Key 1-0, which means that if the New Saints do win, if they keep the advantage they've got here, then they will be crowned champions this afternoon, which is 15 days earlier than last season, Chris. Next season it could be Christmas.
Look, listen, I know it's a bit of a debate, isn't it, within the league, and them winning the league, but look, they are what they are. They're a force in the league, but they do it properly. And they've got Craig's come back in, second year now, and winning the league again. But it's tough. It's tough for opposition. I've been there myself to try and get up to their level when you're part-time, you're dealing against full-time players, and it's almost a full-time machine really. But it is tough. But look, they certainly do it well, and you've got to credit them for that.
And of course the quadruple is still on. Yeah, you've got players like Declan McManus swarming the bench. Blimey.
I know. You're just looking at their bench, Marriott, McManus, Hudson, Jordan Williams, wow. That's all you can say really, isn't it?
Yep.
Strength in depth, yes. Quality throughout. Declan McManus, one of the best players in the league. Jordan Williams, really good player as well, and can't get in the team today that Craig's picked because of the form of other players.
It's hard to believe it. They've stepped up another level again this season, haven't they?
Yeah, you look at the signings that they made. I think when they lost the league to Connors Key a couple of years ago, they brought in Declan McManus, Jordan Williams. They've since added, Josh Pask, Josh Daniels, Rory Holden, Brad Young, Danny Williams. They've added some real quality to their group as well. And I suppose for them now, the indicator, if you like, would be Europe. And I'm sure Craig and his staff, if they do win the league today, which it looks like they're going to, that'll be their next target, the Champions League, and then their aim of trying to get into the group stages of the tournament.
Holden just times his run to perfection, just held up by Cabango. Sizlovic just drops that shoulder as he does, and it's Josh Daniels looking for Sizlovic again. There's 4-3-4 in the box, just waiting for the opportunity. Falls to Leo Smith lines one up. Oh dear me, that was so close from Leo Smith. What a shot.
I'm just thinking now, as he's coming on his left foot, I'm thinking, go on, shoot. If you're an opposition manager, fine, go on, have a shot, don't mind that. And it's a great strike. I thought it was in. It looked like it was in, but yeah, I'm sure Alexander will say he had it covered, but yeah, it's a good strike again. But they're just starting to get space now. Cardiff Met trying to go man for man in midfield with Price, Cabango and Elliot Evans, and they're really moving them around in there. Clark, Holden and Smith, they're really moving them around, and it's difficult to get a grip of them. And yeah, Holden's been a real thorn so far. He started the game really well, and he linked up well with Young, and Leo Smith started to get some space. You can just see up here now that the movement is exceptional. The movement's really, really good.
Very difficult to defend against, I should think, Redmond.
Been there a few times over the years, Bryn,
Yes.
and I can tell you it is very much so.
Dare I ask, what's the heaviest defeat you've had here?
Last year, Welsh Cup, 7-0. Yeah, 4-0 down at half-time.
Yeah. And they don't give up as they are here. Daniels, and it's easy. It's Ben Clark, and it's 3. And the 3 points surely are in the bag. 30 minutes played. Ben Clark, his 9th goal of the season, his 2nd against the Met. It's the champions, we can say that safely, I think. The champions 3, Cardiff Met 0.
Yeah, good build up down the right this time. Josh Daniels does really, really well. Or a little bit of good fortune maybe off Emlyn Lewis, but it's a good finish by Ben Clark. But Josh Daniels was fantastic down there, skips her through, puts the ball into a good area, and then Ben Clark arriving, and 3-0. And yeah, listen, it's going to be a long 60 minutes now for Cardiff Met, I think. But listen, they've got to dig in, they've got to stick in, show some character now and get to half time. You can see Emlyn talking to the players, and people like him will be important now. Tom Price, Emlyn, Carl McCarthy, leaders in the group, Elliot Evans, making sure that they get to half time now, and you don't want this getting messy. That's the last thing you want. And we were just talking about before the goal went in, Bryn, you asked me my heaviest one, and that was the thing at half time. I think we were 7-0 down with 25 minutes to go that day as well, and it could have got really, really messy. I mean, 7-0's a bit of a hammering as well, but they can do that to you. And they started the game really well, and they've just grown from there, and they've created some good chances, and when they come, they're really clinical, and they will punish you, as we showed with the second goal.
And they're relentless, aren't they? They even when they're, as you say, 3, 4, 5, 6 up, they don't take their foot off the gas. They always want that other goal, and Brad Young, well, he's on another hat-trick. And Cislovic forward, to Rory Holden, he was looking, I think he was looking for Ben Clark. And it was between and betwixt, wasn't it?
Again, similar to the goal down that right-hand side with Josh Daniels. And the only thing with probably Rory there, he's on his wrong side. He's obviously left-footed on the right-hand side. He probably wants it on the other side, and he couldn't get a good enough bit of power and good contact on it with his weaker foot, and it just rolls across the face there. But this is the thing when you play, sort of the back 3, the back 5, those holes between the wide centre-back and the wing-back, TNS have really exploited them really well, whether it's down the right or down Cardiff Met's left. They've really caused them a problem. If you look at where the goals have come from, they've just come in those spaces, and it's been difficult for Cardiff Met to deal with them.
Trying to build again. The visitors. Cabango to Price. Price out to Lewis Rees. And if they can get to half time with this score, then Ryan Jenkins can do some tweaks. Most probably 33 minutes played. We've got 12 minutes to the break. And you do fear, Chris, if another one goes in, then we could be looking at another 8-0 or of that ilk.
Yeah, as I said before, this is where you need your senior players now. Just step up and listen, this is fine. What they can't do now is do what they do in the second goal. If they're going to just keep the ball, that's fine. Just take the sting out of the game, it's fine. Lose the keeper, not a problem. But just make sure they don't turn the ball over in central areas, because TNS will hit you, and will they show with the second goal, they will punish you. They're just waiting, though. They're waiting, TNS, for this pass. They're waiting for the ball into midfield, and Holden and Clark are going to jump, and they're going to try and nick it. And Cardiff Met, just don't fall into that trap.
Yeah, just flick that switch, and forward they come. Here's Craven. Limited for the options there. That's a Cabango back to Alex Lang on a yellow card, the keeper. Just pinned back, aren't they?
Yeah, I think TNS are happy with this. As I said before, they're just waiting for that one to go in. And listen, Cardiff Met, it's fine. Just take the sting out of the game. Just keep the ball. Maybe if they can try and get some runners in, or Skiverton or Reese. Elliot Evans has made a good little movement there. Just got on the ball, broke a line.
If you just joined us, the scoreboard doesn't lie. It's 3-0 to the New Saints, 2 for Brad Young, 1 for Ben Clark. Here's Rory Holden, Josh Daniels. Danny Davis and Josh Pask at the back have had a comfortable afternoon. Connor Roberts could almost have brought his deck chair with him, Chris.
Yeah, I said that before about the front players for Cardiff Met. They're working ever so hard. Cardiff Met are working ever so hard. It's tough going. You just seen there, Brad Young's just dropped in and then gets his head up, and then they've got forward runners, and yeah, it's really difficult. But
Brobble, Clark just teases Emlyn Lewis, and Sislovic was the target, and Ben Clark just acknowledges that possibly could have been better.
Yeah, it's quite funny. You mentioned Sislovic. We haven't talked much about him, and in terms of the TNS attacking players, he's always one that can cause problems with his pace and direct running. But he's kind of been that sort of aid to Josh Daniels, where he's just come inside and allowed Daniels to go on the overlap.
Reese, there's an opportunity there. Was the voice of Chris Hughes, by the way, keeping me company, the former Newtown manager. But Elliot Evans just stood on the ball, and Josh Pask so imperious at the back there. He knew what he was doing. Young just dropping short. Danny Davis sprays the ball out to the far side to Josh Daniels and Adrian Sislovic, and uncharacteristically caught offside. Yeah,
it's an interesting one with Josh Daniels, being pretty much a winger for most of his football career. When he spelled at Shrewsbury and played out in Ireland before that, but when he's come to TNS, Craig's used him predominantly as a fullback, and you can probably see why. TNS having 65-70% possession most games. They can afford to play wingers at fullbacks, and we've seen his quality already in the game, and since he's come into the league, and he's another one that has probably come into TNS and just taking them to that next step and that next level. But like I said before, the true test will come in the summer, and I know Craig and his staff will know that, and the aim is to get into a group stages, and it's something that they've come close to over the years. But that first game, that first Champions League game, is the most important one. If they can win that, then it helps them out in the in the remaining rounds, because then they go into the second qualifying round of the Champions League, and then that might enable them then to get into the group stages, maybe for the Europa Conference further on down the line. So that first game in the summer, that first tie, is certainly an important one. That last year they had a really tough game out in Sweden, I think. So they'll be hoping for a kind of draw, certainly.
Against BK Häcken. The one change this afternoon, Chris, from the team that hammered Caernarfon was Jordan Marshall, the left back, who was injured in training. And it was interesting to see that Craig decided to go with Danny Redmond in his place, with Chris Marriott on the bench. So are we starting to see the end of Chris Marriott's career, possibly?
Put me in a spot there. I don't know about that one, but listen, Chris has been a fantastic servant for TNS over the years. But I was talking to Craig and his staff before the game actually about Jordan Marshall, who's someone who played against them last year, I think in the Scottish Challenge Cup for Dundee, and someone that had been without a club in the summer, and they were looking for a left back to challenge Chris Marriott, and they invited him in, and he did really, really well. But as you say, he was injured today, and they put Danny Redmond in there and brought Ben Clark, and he scored the goal. So again, it just further illustrates the quality that they've got and the strength and depth in their squad.
Corner kick for the visitors. We whipped in by it's Rees on the left foot, headed away by Danny Davis. Back to Rees. Now Rees just closed down by Leo Smith. It's Emlyn Lewis. Lewis has got Rees with him. Lewis does well to get the cross in. Too much on that one, and it goes beyond Matt Chubb. And the opportunity goes.
Yeah, half an opening. It's an interesting one. TNS, over the years they've been a big side with Astles, with Hudson, and you look at them today, and it's probably an area that I'm sure Ryan might have targeted before the game. Cardiff met with Chubb, Joe Evans, Lewis, Emlyn Lewis. They've got some big lads. So I'm sure Finn Skiverton as well. I'm sure they might have targeted set plays, and the delivery was okay and they kept it alive. But unfortunately, the cross from Emlyn was a little bit too strong and went out the other side.
In the final 4 minutes of the first half, there was an injury to Alex Lang, so could be a minute or two added on. It's 2 goals from Brad Young, 1 from Ben Clark. And, the trophy presentation, I think we can say with 100% certainty. It's a dangerous thing to say, I know, but I think we're going to see that at the end of this game as Danny Davis finds Connor Roberts.
They're in a position now where they don't really need to force the game. TNS, this is something that is bread and butter to them. Where being 2-3 up in the first half, it's something that they will have come across quite a bit. They just keep the ball and wait and patiently wait for those openings.
Young to Leo Smith, back to Brad Young on a hat-trick, of course, to Rory Holden. He's got Danny Redmond on the outside if he needs him. This is Ryan Brobble. Back to Josh Pask. Sizlovic just holds off Emlyn Lewis, out to Josh Daniels. Daniels drops the shoulder, and that one's headed away. It was a poor header back into the danger area. Smith, Daniels. There's quick feet from Josh Daniels. Holden. And Smith whips the ball in. And just got underneath that one to Josh Daniels. Rees just gives the ball away cheaply once again. Lovely touch from Danny Davis. Pask. Just find space here for Danny Redmond. Young waits for the run of Rory Holden. And that one will run out. Interesting fact for you, Chris. The 2 top assist players in the league are the 2 new Saints wing backs today. Josh Daniels and Danny Redmond. They've had the most assists in the league this season.
Well, yeah, it's not a surprise, is it? I think the way they play, I talked about it before, that getting their width, and the wide players will come inside a little bit, and the width comes from the fullback. So, it's no surprise, and they dominate possession, territory, and so at some point with their quality, and they're going to open up teams, and you've seen it already today. Redmond's pass for the goal, Josh Daniels' pass for the goal. They've already added some assists to it today, and I'm sure that that'll be the message from Craig at half time will be, keep switching the ball, keep getting our fullbacks high and wide, and keep putting balls in the box. And if you're Brad Young or Declan McManus when you come on, I'm sure Brad Young will be thinking, can I get myself a hat-trick or even more goals?
Evans with the long ball, runs through to Connor Roberts, who's had another comfortable afternoon. He's had many this season as the new Saints keeper. This is Danny Redmond. It's an easy pass out to Josh Daniels. Sizlovic to Young with the effort. Hits the post. Brad Young so close to a first half hat-trick.
Yeah, again, look, what he's really good at, strength. He takes the ball, he doesn't mind the contact from centre-backs. He's happy, he just shifts it, and he's always thinking, can I get my shot off? always thinking, can he get a shot off? And you've seen that again. You know, he's inside the box, tough angle, but, you know, hits the target, but unfortunately for him, just hits the post. But again, you know, shows his quality.
Brobble falls to Clark. Just bounced uncomfortably for him over the bar into an added minute here, Chris.
Yeah, look, we've seen it again. So makes a little run down the side, takes a touch. And he's just thinking, can I get my shot off? Can I work an angle? You know, and it just trying to creep in the far post there. It just, unfortunately, just veers away and just hits the post and goes out. But, you know, on another day, it hits the post and comes back inside. But, yeah, he's been a real threat, Bryn, and he's one that's caused, you know, we talked about before the game, but he's caused the Cardiff Met defence some real problems today, as Brad Young.
Into the final few seconds of the first half, totally dominated the home side, and Mr. Walker blows the whistle, and it's Brad Young with the first 2 goals on 15 minutes and 21 minutes. That was added to 10 minutes later by Ben Clark, and well, we're on the way here to a 3rd consecutive title, 16th in total. Half time here at Park Hall. New Saints 3, Cardiff Met 0.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, gyfeillion, fel na mai, ar yr egwyl, felly dim sioc, ond maen nhw'n ennill unwaith eto y Seintiau Newydd. Dim goliau yn y gêm arall pnawn, mae Bai Colwyn yn erbyn Holford, ond byddai'r pwynt yn arwyddocaol, achos bydd hynny'n golygu fod Pontypridd yn dechrau'r pnawn, neu dechrau gêm nhw, yn y 2 waelod. Bydd y tabl gadarnhau hynny ni yn y man. Clybiau cartre sy'n ennill ar un o bryd, felly ar y brig, Seintiau Newydd yn mynd yn gwbl glir, a bydde dim modd dal nhw, dim bod neb yn mynd i ddal nhw ta beth. Dal ddim wedi colli tymor yma. Yna werth nodi wastad nag yw e. A lawr yn y gwylod wedyn ni, fel hyn mae pethau'n sefyll ar hyn o bryd yw hyn, gyda Bai Colwyn yn cael gêm gyfartal ar hyn o bryd. Bydde Pontypridd ar y gwylod, neu mor dda dros wythnosau diwetha, ond wedi colli mwy o bwyntiau, 9 pwynt i gyd nawr. Felly ni wedi cyrraedd mis Mawrth yn do fe, sy'n golygu nifer o bethau. Gwanwyn yn agosau, dwi ddim yn teimlo fel ni heddi. Dewch i ni edrych nôl ar goliau gorau mis Chwefror. Dewch i ddewis gol y mis.
James mewn i ganol y cae efo'r dafliad. Mlaen wedyn. Y cyfle i Ian Owen ar y foli a'r cyfle. A'r syth bin. Yn nythu i gornel ychyr hwy. Llai na 20 eiliad ar y cloc. Y dechrau delfrydol i'r tîm cartra. Yn y gyfle rwan i wrth ymosod. Owen wedi cael un yn barod heno, a wedi cael ei ail. Medrith, gwrth ymosodiad o un pen y cae i'r llall. Na Ian Owen wedi rwyddo ei ail gol o'r noson, a'i 8fed o'r tymor. 8 munud ar 20 di chwarae. Mae'n ddi-sgôr. Dygyn ar gic! Yn syth i'r gornel ucha! O 30 llath mae'n rhaid Nif Dygyn a chigrydd wych roi aber ar y blaen.
Ryan Sears i lansio'r bel i mewn i gwrs Cosby Cei Conna. Penniad ymlaen gan Mills Evans. Ffyriad Oswell y bel yn ôl. Jason Oswell! Am Oswell wedi sgorio i ail gol y pnawn yma. Y bel yn adlamu o gwmpas y cwrs Cosby, a fe ddisgynnodd i Jason Oswell, a fe gadwodd o'i ben. Price felly o ryw ugain llath dros Ben y Mir. Oh my god! Am dechneg hyfryd unwaith eto. Wel, dyn ni wedi gweld 2 gol o'r safon ucha, a Tom Price yn ymateb yn wych i'r Met rhagorol.
Danny Davies. Chislovec, siomiodd o dan bwys ar y fanta. Tom Walters, mae Payne yn y canol. Walters! O, fan bach i! Lladd Sawel! 2 munud a hanner i fewn i'r ail hanner. A mae Tom Walters wedi roed y tîm cartra ar y blaen. Young ar ar y brys i gymryd y tafliad. Dyma Danny Williams. Nôl at Jordan Marshall. Marshall. Heibio i'r amddiffynwr George. Marshall ar croesiad y peniad gan Chris Evans ac allan gan Ace cyn belled ac nath i gol gan Ben Clark. Ben Clark ar y foli. Y peniad gan Chris Evans. Di ond di wneud llawer o'i le heno y cefnwr, ond oedd y peniad yna. A mi oedd hi ar blat i Ben Clark.
Beth mynd yn hir, William Bradley. Cyfrifiad hyfryd gan Sean Bradley. Dyna chi gol gan Sean Bradley. Oedd y cyffyrddiad gynta'n berffaith ac yr ergyd heibio Conor Roberts i gefn y rwyd. Mae Sears yn codi a mae'n cael ei giro yn yr awyr a Basgan Cowens yn wych mewn i drad Moandwe a mae'n rhyddhau Robles. Robles ar ei dro'r chwith. Na chi gol! I ddod adre newydd yn gyfartal. Cyd chwarae hyfryd yng nghanol ca. A Robles ar ei drod chwith yn erbyn i gen glwb yn cremanu'r bêl. Heibio i Celyn Absalom.
O, dyna ni, dyna'r dewis, rhestr fer, goliau gorau mis Chwefron. Ni'n mynd i glywed pwy sydd wedi ennill gol y mis nesaf. Mae Cenriol o Dre Newydd. Chris Hughes gyda ni. Chris, great to have you with us. Sorry about showing all those Newtown goals. By the way, right, you've got a very important job today.
Yes.
Who's won? Who's got the goal of the month?
Winner, Sean Bradley of Carnarvon. There was no one else really. It's a fantastic goal, a great touch, a good spin, and the ball sits up nicely for him, and it's a really good finish past. Obviously, Conor Roberts, a team that doesn't concede a lot of goals, and it was a special strike. So, yeah, Sean's my winner.
Excellent. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people agreeing with that decision. Here it is again. It's a funny one, because they lost the game heavily, but it's just such a special moment for him as well.
Yeah, as I said before, it's a great touch. It sets the finish up, really, and falls nicely for him, and he just bends it in that top corner, just past Conor's dive. So, yeah, really good goal. And I think, as I say, I'm sure the people in Carnarvon will be happy with that one.
Excellent. Well, there you go. Congratulations. He's Sean Bradley. Becky, great to have you with us today. Chris, last few years, you've hardly had any time to be with us on Scorio, what with Newtown and all that. How are things away from the game for a bit? Are you even away from the game?
No, surprisingly, I'm not. No, I'm still following the league. I think when you've been in it for 15 years non-stop, it's a difficult one to let go of, but I'm still following the league, still keeping in touch, still getting out and watching games. Great to be here today and working with you and the Scorio team. It's really good, but I'm getting a bit restless now, I think. Getting a bit restless, talking to the two managers before the game as well, Craig and Ryan, and knowing what match day's like, and the preparations and everything else, and I'm probably getting a bit itchy feet now.
Now then, we'll see. Might be a little story there in a few weeks. We'll see. Can I ask you, how do you stop the New Saints, basically? Because you've done it. You had some success when you were with Newtown, winning here, winning against them as well. What's the secret?
I think you've just got to try and stay in your shape as much as you can. Look, it's difficult. It's easier said than done. I've said it on commentary. I think the wins that we've had, I think we've scored the first goal. And I think that's important as well. It gives your players confidence. Look, Cardiff Met came here with a plan. Try to sort of sit deep and absorb the pressure. And look, it's very difficult because you're coming up against, Daniels and Redmond on the side. Who've got great delivery. Brad Younger, I think, has been exceptional so far. His movement has really caused Cardiff Met problems. So, look, they've got a lot of strengths. So I think because they're a little bit wide open, you can maybe hurt them on the counter-attack, but that's been difficult for Cardiff Met because they haven't had much of the ball. Yeah,
it's a bit of a question. No one's managed it this season. Chris, thank you very much for your time. Back to commentary for Chris now. He's on the red button today. We're going to look at last night's games. Dych chi'n edrych ar gemau neithiwr felly nesa?
Kai Edwards i gymryd y gic. Taro fel yn lletraws. Brian yn ddi-gyfeiriad. Cliriad. Yn sydd â Dan Roberts, Eddie Clark rwan. Clark yn llwyddo gadw fel ar dir y byw. A mae'n dod yn ôl at Clark. Cleisio Clark tuag at Jordan Davies. Davies yn tynnu bel yn ôl. Ac Ergyd Franklin ar y targed, ond yn syth at Celyn Absalom. Dyna gyfla gora yr ymwelwyr o bell ffordd. Dan Roberts. Dyna Eddie Clark. Clark yn canfod Josh Williams. Gyffyrddiad Franklin. Jordan Davies yn troi. A Iergyd o fodfeddi heibio'r postyn. Mond hanner eiliad. Mae Jordan Davies angen. Ond am cweit yn gallu cyfeirio Iergyd i gefn yr hwy trona. Josh Williams. Croesia te Gats. Jordan Davies. A'r blaenwr gyrheiddodd yna gynta. Bod yna ddau gris gwyn o'i gwmpas o. Ross White. Tara fel te Gats. George Newell yn disgyn. A felly hefyd Aberdaki. A mae'n gico'r smotyn. A dwi'n meddwl na am yr ail dacl mae Mr Bryn Markham Jones wedi penderfynu pwyntio at y smotyn. George Newell yn ôl ar ei draed ac yn paratoi gymryd y gic. A George Newell yn gyrru Andy Firth y ffordd anghywir. Ac ar ôl 10 munud yr ail hanner, mae'r tîm cartra wedi mynd ar y blaen. George Newell, 2-1 i warchod o. Kai Edwards yn clirio. Mor bell ar Ross White. Arsan. I mewn i cwrt Cosby na'i Marsan. Iergyd o. Yn cael ei rhwystro. Newell yn croesi. Gwaedd amlawio. A fe gymerodd y dyfarnwr i amser. A dwi'n siŵr bod calon yr amddiffynwr yn ei wddfo. Dan Roberts. Ffyrddiad. Jordan Davies allan a Josh Williams. Eddie Clark yn croesi. Bale yn adlamu mlaen. Hanner gwaed am lawio. Cei Conna dal efo'r meddiant. Declan Poole rwan. Yn taro Bale nôl i mewn. Bron i honna ddisgyn. Dros ben Celland Absalon. Ac i mewn i'r gôl. 20 munud i fynd. Josh Williams. Efo'r gigon nil ddofyn. A mi oedd hwnna'n gyfla. Ond heibio'r postyn a penniad Ben Nash.
Wychili. Erffuriad o'n tan. Thomas yn ylygedodd i ar y bel. O'n tan dyma ffwmpa Mwandwe. Cyfle mae'r Ergyd. Mwandwe. Fymryn heibio'r nod. Cyfle gorau'r gêm hyd yma. Yn disgyn i'r ymwelwyr. 12 munud a hanner wedi chwarae. Ffwmpa Mwandwe. Bell yn gweud. Ishmael yn gryfach na Morgan Owen. Ishmael ar Ergyd. Yr arbediad gan Lewis Webb. Oedd hi'n mynd heibio'r nod. Golwr ddim i wybod hynny. Davies. Mae Donahue wedi parhau ei rediad efo hyn. Mae Gwion Dafydd yn y canol. Mae Sean Bradley ar gael hefyd. Donahue yn sgwar at Danny Gossett. Gossett gisio ei gosod ti am yr Ergyd. I gefn y rwyd. Danny Gossett. 36 o funud ar y cloc. O mi dwyllodd o Andrew Wycherley yn llwyr. O mi oedd y golwr yn syfrdan ar ei linell. Cynarfon 1, y Dre Newydd dim. Henry Cowens. Ar gig gornel un ddofn y tro hwn. A Shane Sutton. Arbediad gan Lewis Webb. Honna gan Sutton ar ei ffordd i'r gornel isa. A Lewis Webb yn taflu di hun i ildio'r gig gornel. Matty Jones yr eilydd. Ar gig rydd, mi gymodd i wiriad. Mae'n tasgu allan a George Hughes o arbediad o'r safon ucha un gan Lewis Webb. Yr Ergyd gan George Hughes, mi gymodd i wiriad o ddi ar un o amddiffynwyr Caernarfon am arbediad gan Lewis Webb. Donahue, yr edrychiad, y Bale i gyfeiriad Zach Clark, mond at dalcen Shane Sutton yr ibeniad o ddim yn un da. Mae'n tasgu trwy'r at Zach Clark, oedd Clark yn cant. Nag oedd medd y dyfarnwr a'r dyfarnwr cynorthwyol ar yr ochr gosa yma. Ond mae yna drafodaeth yn mynd i fod fan hyn rhwng Martin Roberts a Richard Wright. Mae'r lliman yn cael ei chodi. Da gymodd i gyffyrddiad oddi ar un o chwaraewyr y Dre Newydd. Wel, drama yma ar yr ofal. Wycherley. Sutton. Mi wirodd i ar Matty Jones. Dyma Gossett. At y Louis Lloyd. Mae'n tymor yr ochr bella i Zach Clark. Clark ar Ergyd.
ar arbediad gan Wycherley. Oedd hwnna'n un dda i nadu Zach Clark, ond a ddylia Clark fod wedi gwneud yn well yn y fan yna. Pawb i fyny geithio'r golwr i'r dre newydd. Mae'n tasgu at Matthew Jones. Jones ar ergyd. Mae unwaith eto. Rwan tam yna gyfle am y gwrth ymosodiad. Mae'n 3 yn erbyn 2. Clark yn cario'r bel. Clark at Louis Lloyd. Lloyd ar ergyd. I fewn i'r hwyd ochr am I gymodd I wiriad. Oedd I ar George Hughes. Gwrth ymosodiad cyflym gan y Cofis. Louis Lloyd ar ergyd. Owen. Na'r tafliad. Disgyn I Clark yn ceisio I gosod. I Gosset! Bron yn ail I Danny Gosset I sicrhau y triffwynt mor agos. Cael I gosod gan Clark. Gosset ar ergyd. Doedd o ddim yn bell. Sears. Mae'n o Robbie Evans. Evans yr eilydd. Evans ar ergyd. A mi oedd angen yr arbediad gan Webb. Oedd hwnna mynd I mewn ar I bostyn gosa. A mi oedd o'n effro'r golwr. A dyna'r agosa mae'r dre newydd wedi dod yn yr ail hanner.
Dyna ni, gemen neithiwr felly eich o bwyntiau o'r penwthnos ar Esbydrec nos Lun. Cofiwch am hynny. A ni'n barod am yr ail hanner. Os nag oes rhywbeth rhyfeddol yn digwydd, mae'r seintiau newydd ar fi'n clipio'r bencampwriaeth. A hynny am y trydydd tro yn olynol a'r unfed tro ar 15. Mae nhw'n dipyn o dîm, mae'n dipyn o stori. Nôl â ni, a ti'n tîm sylwebu, tipyn o tîm sylwebu hefyd. Malcolm Allen gyda Nick Parry.
Thank you, Dylan. Welcome back. No changes at the break. So Ryan Jenkins and Craig Harrison quite happy with what they've got at the moment. The New Saints leading by 3-0 and on their way to their 16th championship. 2 goals from Brad Young. 1 from Ben Clark. Chris, you've been in the position. What did Ryan Jenkins say at half-time to the Met players?
I think there'll be a couple of things he'll be talking about, mate. I think probably giving TNS a little bit too much space. I think, although TNS have been very good, maybe trying to get some more pressure on the centre-backs at TNS. I think it's been a little bit too easy for Pascal and Davis to start attacks. So maybe pushing Reece and Skiverton a little bit higher to affect the ball a little bit more, and then they can get a bit more contact up the pitch, and then obviously try and keep the ball in the last third. Listen, it's difficult, really difficult, but I think he'll be, talking about the space in midfield, and maybe trying to affect the 3 midfield players for TNS in there a little bit more.
Former Newtown manager Chris Hughes keeping me company here at Park Hall as Rory Holden, who's been comfortable in midfield in the first half, contributed to a couple of the goals. Pask, Danny Davis and Leo Smith. Just that understanding between Leo Smith and Rory Holden. I've seen New Saints a couple of times in the last month, Chris, and those two in the middle, they've just been really, really impressive.
Yeah, I haven't seen a great deal of Holden. He played against us when I was at Newtown, probably start of November, and he did okay that day. I know he's someone that's probably struggled a little bit with injuries, and he's come into the team, and but he's certainly done really well today, and looks a good player.
Daniels goes back to Sislovic, and it was Daniels who'd continued his run, went for the spectacular.
Yeah, again, it was a bit of build-up down the right-hand side, I think, wasn't it? A little ball from Sislovic, good spot, and then he's just tried to a bit audacious that. But I suppose when you're full of confidence, you can try these things.
Robble. Smith into Danny Redmond. Young just up against Emlyn Lewis. Young finds Josh Pask, an opportunity for a shot here, goes for Brad Young once again. Too much on that one, and on the greasy surface it just skids away for a goal kick.
I think he'd be disappointed with that, Josh Pask. He stepped in really well. Young had almost made his mind up. He just had to slide the ball in, and then it was a shot or a cross across the face of the goal. But again, it's a little bit too easy for the TNS centre-backs just to step in and just dictate the game a little bit. And I think, it'll be something I'm sure, Ryan and Craig Hanford, his assistant, might be looking at and saying, listen, can we, as I said before, maybe Skiverton and Louis Rees, just to put a little bit more pressure on them.
Cardiff met their worrying run, it must be said, since Christmas. They haven't won a single game in the league. They did beat Colwyn Bay in the Welsh Cup. But before Christmas they were doing pretty well, but then whatever happened over Christmas, Chris?
Yeah, I was in a similar boat myself with Newtown before I left, and you get them because the top six is unforgiving. It's really tough. You're playing against the best teams every week, and then the fixture list can be cruel to you as well. And it's a tough yard. And for Cardiff Met, I think they've got TNS again in a couple of weeks in the semi-final, I think so. And then they play them again a couple of weeks after that in the league. So that just illustrates how tough it is, and what they've got to cope with.
Thanks, Chris. Chris picking my papers up as they blow around. Thanks. Oh dear. Big winners this weekend as things stand. Caernarfon, Chris, beating your former club last night 1-0. They jumped up to 4th from 6th, and they'll stay in 4th with things as they are, albeit they will be, quite a way behind Bala. Bala are almost certain of that 3rd position, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks that way. I think, Connors Keel, what they 10 points clear now. So, Neil's done fantastically well there again, to get them 2nd, and then, certainly Bala in the last month or so have been very good as well. And they've
Cabango with the clearance.
They look like 3rd, and we all know, Bryn, over the years, they're 3rd. Depending on who wins the Welsh Cup, the last couple of years, ourselves winning it 2 years ago, Penabont last year, 3rd gets you into Europe as well. So it certainly is something to look at. And then the other teams are fighting out for home advantage in the playoffs. If you get 4th or 5th, you're getting a home game in the semis, and obviously if you get 4th, you know that you're going to be home in the semis and home in the final. But I won't talk about last year being home in the final.
No,
it didn't help us last year anyway. Saying that.
Yeah.
But then I think 2 years before that we won away. We won 2 away games. I think quite a few teams. Cardiff Met have done it. I think they finished 7th once and got into Europe. So it's. I'm sure the teams in the conference, I think as they called, will be looking at that as well.
Yeah. Well, that win you had in at the Oval in the playoff was really, really memorable, wasn't it?
Do you know what? I don't think I've recovered from it. Honestly, it was a crazy game of football. It was unbelievable, really, to be part of it. And listen, we came out on top, but it kind of was the sort of set us up really for the couple of years. The next year we finished 3rd and got into Europe as well, and obviously had the successes. So and I'm sure there'll be Newtown will be looking at that, as will the other 3 or 4 teams in the league. And this year with only having 4 teams, this year 4 teams going in, next year's only 3 teams. So someone will get an opportunity this year, and it's important that they grasp that as well.
Six minutes played of the second half as we were at half time. There's a frustrating just passage of play there for Cardiff Met.
Yeah, again, a good opportunity just to slide Elliot Evans in, and with his quality and what he brings, he'd be in. I'm not through on goal, but certainly broke that line. But just given away again, and now TNS are in again with Young's movement, but well defended by Joe Evans.
So Greg Draper there, by the way, who's the manager of the New Saints ladies, and you can watch them tomorrow in the semi-final of the Welsh Cup against the Wrexham ladies. There's Danny Redmond. Just strays the ball out to Ryan Brobble. Redmond. Holden. Just bossing that midfield, Rory Holden. Brobble. Ball looking for Ben Clark, just lets it run. And Emlyn Lewis read that one. Elliot Evans. Daniels. Oh, lovely touch. Nutmeg there on Elliot Evans. Holden. There's Danny Redmond. Redmond started in the left wing back position, just venturing infield.
Yeah, you can see Cardiff Met, they did it at times in the first half. They're going man to man, so you can see Cabango with Clark, and Emlyn Lewis has gone in with Young, and that is a way of playing against TNS. Something that we tried over the years at Newtown. The problem becomes then when the TNS win that 1v1 battle and it opens up the whole pitch, and that can be a problem. But it is one way of dealing with them. You go man for man all over the pitch and try and combat them that way. But they are that cute, that clever. It's a problem that they've come across before, and they've got the experience in dealing with it.
What's your view on pink boots, Chris?
I think I really struggle with it, because I'm really boring in my life, and people who know me will start giggling now because that's me. And I just have to wear black boots. But yeah, my son has all sorts of colours on his feet when he plays, and all the lads in his team do. And the boys out here are no different. Just keep it simple for me. I'm a simple man. Just keep it simple.
Traditionalist.
Yeah, I don't know about boring or traditional, whichever one. But just keep it simple. But yeah, they're all sorts of different colours now, aren't they?
They are indeed. Well, there was a certain Newtown player last night wearing golden boots.
Right, okay.
He didn't have a very good game.
Okay.
I'll just say that.
Okay. I'm not going to say who it was now. Now you've said that, I've got an idea who it might be, but I'm not going to say who it was.
And if he's listening, I do apologise.
Yeah.
Roberts.
Yeah, don't worry, Thumper, I won't say anything.
Dear, thanks, Chris. Sislovic just drops the shoulder, goes for the near post. Comfortable for Alex Lang.
Yeah, Cardiff Met will be relatively happy with this. I don't think there's been any major sort of things on their goal in the 10 minutes. And yeah, look, they're still trying to build from the back, and it's a way of keeping the ball. They've just got to be careful, like the second goal where they, you encourage the press from TNS like this now, and they've nicked it back, and then they'll go and try and hurt you on the turnover. But they got the ball back now and trying to pass and probe and create another opening.
Yeah, it was just that one misplaced pass, wasn't it, in midfield, which was just pounced upon by Rory Holden. And that's what he does so well. There's Redmond's in acres of space on the far side on the left, out of shot at the moment. He's just shouting for the ball. Still 3-0, 10 minutes played in the second half. It's those two goals from Brad Young and Ben Clark in the first half, as once again Cabango is dispossessed, and now Ben Clark, look at the space that he's got. Clark just drops the shoulder, Clark goes for goal. Out to Leo Smith. This is Ryan Brobble. He's got Redmond with him. Ball into Young. And Emlyn Lewis just picks the ball up and finds Elliot Evans. Uncharacteristic touch there from Brad Young.
Yeah, people at home may not be able to see it, but probably TNS talk about them in possession and how good they are. And that speaks for itself, but how hard they work without the ball. And you can hear Craig below us, constantly getting after his players, and Holden and Clark work exceptionally hard, and they're always trying to intercept the ball and nick the ball, and you've seen it for the second goal. So it is a part of the game that they're good at. Obviously their fitness levels, because they're full time and they can do it, and they can run hard, but they're really pressing Cardiff Met. And again, look, another unforced error, and again Ryan will be disappointed with that, because it's a comfortable spell of possession, which they're keeping the ball, but they've turned it over again, and now they're back on the defence, and CNS are coming forward again.
Well, the New Saints are going to win the league with 6 games remaining. If they win every single one of those games, they can reach 92 points, which is unheard of. The most that any team has reached previous to that was 85 points in 2016-17, and it was the New Saints, you're not surprised to hear. So they could be heading for a record. There's a quadruple on the cards.
Well, you wouldn't back against them, especially getting the points record. I think, obviously they've got the league done today, and they won the League Cup a couple of weeks ago, and then they've got the final and the semi-final. The final of the Scottish Cup against I think it's Airdrie in a couple of weeks, and then they got the semi-final of the Welsh Cup coming up as well against Cardiff Met, and you know you certainly wouldn't back against them. And I watched the game against Falkirk, and I thought they were really good on the night, and I thought they were worthy winners. And you know, good for the league to show that teams can go up there and play against, you know, Scottish League teams and on their own patch and beat them. So, you know, hopefully they can do it again in the final.
And if I'm right, Chris, I think the semi-final between these two sides at your old stamping ground at Leithen Park.
Yeah, I think it is. I saw that the other day. The two semi-finals are certainly the Connah's Quay Bala game is one that, you know, whets the appetite. I commentated on that. I was at that game last year at Flint, and it was a really, really good game.
This year's intended, no?
Yes, yeah, I saw that. And you know, Bala came out on top. It was an end-to-end game. I think Chris Venables, shock horror, scored the winner in the semi-final and got Bala into the final. But yeah, those, you know, certainly the Connah's Quay Bala game. Obviously, you've seen the result last night, and the games between them are always close games, and I'm expecting no different in that semi-final.
Yeah, I think it was 3-2, wasn't it? Wasn't it 3-2 to Bala in the end?
Yeah. I think
goal. Yeah,
Chris scored late on. Yeah, it was a really good game.
Yeah. This is Rich. Holden, just keeping possession. Holden, good challenge from Emlyn Lewis. It's in for Brad Young, and it's Lang somehow or other who clears the ball. He felt that one did Alex Lang, but he got away with that one. New seems to be preparing a sub, by the way. It's Danny Redmond who's in possession. He can go off to celebrate his birthday, and it's I think Chris Marriott is about to come on.
Yeah, not a bad sub, is it? You know, as we just said, Brim, you know, talking about the strength in the squad, you're bringing off Danny Redmond, you know, one of the top assists in the league, and then you're bringing on one of, if not the most experienced player in the league, and yeah, just shows what they've got here now. And you know, it's if you want to call it an embarrassment of riches, really, in terms of the squad and what they've got going forward, and the players they keep adding into the mix as well.
Yep, joining Marriott on the bench, we've seen Declan McManus, Blaine Hudson, Danny Williams, Jordan Williams, and Tom Jones, and it is an embarrassment of riches. Daniels, he was going for goal. That wasn't a cross. That wasn't intended for Brad Young.
Yeah, again, you know, Daniels, we talked about him being that, you know, sort of winger turn fullback and getting into those areas, and then once he gets into those areas, he's got the quality. Probably the only surprise there was it he didn't hit the target, but you know, here comes Chris Marriott. It looks like Danny Williams as well is coming on for Leo Smith. So no change, you know, there'd be no change in the formation there, like for like. Marriott will go to left back, and Williams will come in as that holding midfield player. It just showed Brad Young's goal then, you know, his movement in behind, and you know, the ball in from Redmond, and your touch, and yeah, good finish. So yeah, you know, Chris will be coming back in, and then Williams will go and players that take Leo's place there. And again, when you're bringing players on like that and bringing players off, it just shows the squad that they've got.
Yeah, so confirmation, Danny Redmond and Leo Smith have their days done, and on comes Chris Marriott and Dan Williams. And here's the injury again, Chris. I think, did he fall? Oh, not a lot in that.
Yeah, it's the second time he's gone down. I think he went down when he came out of his box, whether it's the earlier injury, I think when he got the yellow card, whether it's the early injury that's hurting him now. I think this is it. Yeah, you just see it now, whether it's the same sort of thing. He just kicks the bottom of Brad Young's leg, and whether it's the same thing again, but hopefully he's okay to carry on.
Yeah, I think it was a blow to the ankle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked like that, didn't it? Just as he landed the second one anyway. Certainly a bit of a collision, but he's up and going anyway.
Not sure about the keeper's kit, Chris.
You don't like, was it pink boots and
pink boots?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's different, isn't it? It's different.
I get the shirt, but
different.
Not sure about the shorts.
Different. Yeah. It's say that. I think it's the modern game now, Bryn, isn't it? With all these posh colours and it's not for me. It's not for me.
I'm with you.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Black boots, red and white kit.
Black boots, definitely.
Yeah, red and white kit.
Emlyn Lewis up in the forward line. looking for Lewis Rees. And Rees in turn to Joe Evans. This is Tom Price. Here's Lang. Doesn't look to be suffering, does the keeper, Alex Lang. As we've passed the hour mark. No addition to the score from half-time. So I suppose, Chris, that Ryan Jenkins will be quite happy with the fact that they haven't conceded in the second half.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have been something he talked about half-time. You know, we mentioned before about some tactical stuff in terms of getting a little bit tighter and, you know, trying to deal with TNS's centre-halves. But, you know, certainly the message defensively would have been, look, you know, try and keep a clean sheet. You know, well, people will say, listen, they're trying to play and draw TNS out, and people say, why don't they go long? But look, sometimes you go long and you give the ball away, and the ball just comes back at you. So at least by here getting some passes in and trying to keep the ball there, you know, they're keeping the ball away from TNS. But, you know, the second goal was a result of them trying to play. And they'd worked it quite nice, so it's a little bit unlucky. They're trying to bounce it into midfield, but the second goal was a result of them playing out from the back, and then you get really punished when you turn the ball over, you know, 15, 20 yards from your goal. TNS are going with the quality that they've got and will go really, really punish you, and that's what happened. But yeah, you know, they keep the ball and just trying to draw TNS out, but you know, I think, you know, it's a difficult one now with the game being 3-0.
As a manager yourself, did you chunk games? You know, did you set a target, say 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Yeah, did you do that, did you? Yeah. Well,
it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's a ploy that a few teams have used, and don't want to give away any trade secrets here, but you'll miraculously see the goalkeeper go down in about 21, 22 minutes with an injury, of course, and you'll see the goalkeeper go down, and you know, and then all the players will come over for a drink and a tactical break, and yeah, you know, you see that trying to break the game up, and yeah, it's something, you know, we talked about, certainly, you know, trying to, you know, even simple things like walking to throw-ins and stuff like that, just to try and break the game up. But it's tough because, you know, they're an excellent team, as we've seen today.
Rees. Change out of the New Saints defence this afternoon. Tom Price lines one up. Oh, wasn't too far. And they're suggesting that Connor Roberts just had a fingertip to that one.
Yeah, that come from just a little ball into Finn Skiverton, and he got hold of it and played Louis Rees. And I talked before about, you know, the forward players working hard, and, you know, they worked the ball through, and yeah, it was a good strike by Tom. Just trying to see now if Connor has saved it. It's a decent strike, you know, well worked, and has he left that? It's hard to say. It's hard to tell, isn't it?
It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. You normally see keepers like that, when they make saves like that, want the corner because they want everyone to know that they've saved it. I'm surprised Connor hasn't shouted it was a corner, so people know it was a save.
Williams. Evans.
I'm sure Craig now will be thinking about when to unleash Declan McManus. He's probably waiting for Brad Young to get his hat-trick, I think, and then you'll probably see you know, McManus come on, and maybe Jordan Williams as well. You know, like, without repeating myself, but like we said before, the quality that they've got now and the strength is just ridiculous.
It's difficult when you're commentating on the New Saints not to repeat yourself, Chris, as the players' families in attendance is waiting for that presentation.
Yeah, no, I think, to be fair to Cardiff Met, you know, little things here that they're trying to play, you know, and draw TNS out. You know, good from beating from Craven, trying to work the ball. But certainly, you know, second half, you'd probably say that they've had a little more possession. This is where they've got to be really careful, though, there. You know, how well TNS press. Joe's just got away with one there, maybe. But, yeah, you'd probably say that possession-wise, listen, you know, in terms of the context of the game's probably done now, you know, 3-0. And TNS have maybe come off it slightly and just happy to sit in and save energy. But, you know, certainly from Cardiff's Met point of view, you know, Ryan will be pleased with, you know, they kept the ball, they tried to work the ball across the pitch. You know, they've had the Tom Price opportunity that just come up before, where they work the ball into their forward play. So, you know, it's certainly what the 20-odd minutes we played, they've certainly done okay in this part.
Yep, we're halfway through the second half, and no change since the break. There's been a change in personnel. Danny Redmond and Leo Smith have departed, and it looks as if Declan McManus is about to come on, and Jordan Williams as well. He's not going to take Brad Young off, is he? And he's on a hat-trick.
I'd like to see Young's body language if he does bring him up. Unless he brings one of the midfield players off. I think they did it at Britain Ferry the other week. I think they put Young off the sides and put McManus through the middle, or maybe play them both together. It'd be interesting what he does. Obviously, with Jordan Williams and McManus coming on, you'd expect, two of maybe Sizovic, Brobble, or Young to come off, but what do I know? I might be completely wrong.
He did indeed start with. I actually did the Britain Ferry TNS match, Chris, and he actually did start with Brad Young and Declan McManus. I was having a chat with Craig before the match, and he just found it an opportunity just to see how they'd play together. And you're right, Brad Young did almost play as a left winger.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who he brings off here. We haven't really talked much about the two wingers. We talked before about Sizovic and Brobble. It's almost been the game for the fullbacks and the central players, really. We haven't really talked much about Brobble, and he had that one opportunity, Brobble, he put across for Young, which Young hit the bar with. But him and Sizovic have been relatively quiet today. But they've got, again, fantastic quality, so they have a bit of a quiet day, and then Young scores 2, Clark scores, Holden's been really good. So yeah, it's Josh Daniels again.
The two coming off, we understand, Chris. Ryan Brobble and Rory Holden. You said the midfield player.
Yeah. Well, I got Brobble right. So maybe maybe McManus might go and play as a number 10 or play just off Young. Maybe with Young being on his having scored 2 and looking for his hat-trick, Craig's decided to keep him on.
Yeah, attacking substitutions as well, bringing Jordan Williams and Declan McManus on. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's one of them when you're the opposition manager and you're looking at who's coming off and who's coming on, and you're thinking, oh, brilliant, cheers for that. Taking off Ryan Brobble and bringing on Jordan Williams. Yeah. And then McManus comes on as well, and you're like, oh, fantastic. 3-0 down with 20 minutes to go, and then them two come on, yeah.
Marriott. There's Brobble. Could be amongst his final contributions, and Rory Holden just combining on the far side over there. Holden as Young runs to the near post. Oh, Emlyn Lewis. That was a key challenge. He had to get that challenge right there, Emlyn Lewis, and he did.
Yeah, brilliant from Emlyn. Great position. A bit of experience. Well worked again down that side. Rory Holden, good ball in, and you think Young's just thinking, I'm going to tap this in for my hat-trick, and fair play to Emlyn. He's read it well and dealt with that situation.
Corner kick, just lofted in. It was Skiverton, I think, who got the last touch there. Yep, it's another corner kick. We're into the final 20 minutes here before the trophy presentation. Jordan Williams, Declan McManus just having to bide their time.
Yeah, it's that old manager adage, never make a sub at a corner. I don't know why.
Yeah.
We never do it.
Yeah.
Normally it's defensive corners, attacking corners are fine, but yeah, I don't know why. We always remember having a discussion with the fourth official. No, don't. Not doing it yet, we'll wait, but no idea why.
Brobble, who's about to depart, along with Rory Holden. It's a low one this time. Brad Young was in there, and that one took a touch, well, I think, off Danny Williams. And now the opportunity for the substitution. So Ryan Brobble to be replaced by Jordan Williams, and Rory Holden to be replaced by Declan McManus.
Yeah, he's done well today, Rory Holden. I think especially in that first 15-20 minutes, he really caused Cardiff Met problems with his delivery from the right-hand side with his left foot, and he put some decent balls in. And I think Brad Young will probably feel that he should have scored certainly with his head. And now, strength again, bring on Jordan Williams. looks like he's going to play off the left. Declan Mance has gone up front, and Brad Young's just dropped into midfield. So, yeah, again, bringing on good players for good players.
And also a change for the Mets, and it's Finn Skiverton who's departed. And it's the Eritrean Samson who comes on. It's Haben Samson.
Yeah, it looks like it's a straight swap. Samson's come on for Skiverton. It's been a tough one for Skiverton, tough afternoon for him. I think he's worked ever so hard, but obviously had to live off scraps almost, really, and probably had that one bit of play which resulted in the Tom Price shot where he dealt with the ball really well and laid it off to Louis Rees. But yeah, it's been a tough afternoon for him.
Jordan Williams scampers down the far side. It's the cross in straight at Alex Lang. Only one change so far, Chris, for the visitors. Would you have expected more?
I think if you look at their bench, the very young group, I think they've got a few players missing as well. Cardiff Met, certainly, Harry Owen being one, who's been a really effective player for them over the last probably 3 or 4 seasons. So he's been a big miss for them, and I know they've had a couple of injuries. So obviously Sam Jones is suspended as well, which is a miss for them. He's been really good for them. So those two would make a difference. But looking at the bench, they've got a few younger players on there. But yeah, obviously Ryan's decided that he's going to stick with what he's got so far. And like I said before, they've done okay second half. 15 minutes to go, and the score's 0-0. They've done really well.
Wayward pass. As we approach the final 15 minutes, it's Brad Young's 2 goals first after 15 minutes, then after 21, and then 10 minutes later, Ben Clark making it 3-0. It's been comfortable, to say the least, for the champions. Danny Davis to Marriott. Marriott's ball looking for the run of Brad Young. Maybe they're trying too hard, Chris, to get Brad Young's hat-trick.
But again, you can just see, he wants to threaten him behind, he wants to run him behind, and when you're a defender playing against a forward player like that who wants to constantly run in behind you, constantly running behind you, it is so tough. It is so tough. But he can do the other side as well. He can come short and get hold of the ball, which he's done today. So he's a real all-rounder. In fairness to him.
Ball takes a deflection off Chris Marriott, and it goes for a corner kick for the visitors. Lewis Rees, former TNS player, goes over to take the corner. Anything now would be a consolation for Cardiff Met.
Yeah, but they've got the big lads up there. Chubb's in there, Emma Lewis, Joe Evans. And they've got, obviously it's going to be whipped in by Rees. So yeah, we talked before, they've probably got a little bit of a height advantage, maybe, in this area. They decided to go short.
Just opens the angle for Rees. Ball back, an opportunity here for Craven. Poor ball from Craven. An opportunity wasted there.
Yeah, they worked it really well. It looked like something they'd worked on to try and get a short corner and try and get Craven in that. And he probably just missed everyone out, and it's gone over there and got over everyone and out for a throw.
Well, Emily Lewis was being pulled all over the place there by Jordan Williams, but they're common these days, aren't they, Chris?
They are. Well, listen, if VAR comes in next year, you never know.
Yep.
You see it a lot in the Premier League now, in the English Premier League. If things like that will get picked up by VAR potentially, but there is a lot that goes on. There's a lot of bumping, and you can see it already. Shirt pulling and everything else, and people trying to wrestle people.
Ball headed away, back in by Kyle McCarthy, and it's Elliot Evans. Two of the most experienced players in the Mets team combining there. Elliot Evans, Kyle McCarthy. An opportunity to just get the cross in, looking for Lewis Rees. Ball played in by Cabango Samson, who was there, and just poor header away. He was offside anyway. Stays 3-0.
Yeah, I'm sure Elliot will be a little bit disappointed with that, knowing him and his quality, where he's probably just got to miss that first man and bring, they had a couple of the big lads up, and he hit the first man, and it was Pascal that headed it away. But look, they've certainly got into some higher positions and more forward positions, Cardiff Met, than they did in the first half. So they, give Ryan and his coaching team some credit for that, certainly, and the players, of course.
Yeah. Kyle McCarthy, just with the mistimed challenge. Nothing malicious in that at all on Adrian Sizlovic. Pask. Marriott. Oh, he's got Jordan Williams. Chris Marriott on his way to his 12th league title. That's quite a stat, isn't it, Chris? Chris Marriott, we were talking about him earlier on. He's in the last throes, if for want of a better term, of his career, and he's won 12 championships.
Yeah, it's incredible, really. I didn't know that. I wouldn't have said 12, but yeah, I suppose it's a testament to him and the way he's holds himself and everything that he's done. And yeah, he's been a real good player for TNS over the years, certainly.
Cabango out to Chubb. He's got Sampson in the middle. This is Craven. Lewis. Still as determined as ever is Emlyn Lewis, as Danny Davis clears the ball away, but there was a shirt pull there on Emlyn Lewis. Ten minutes of the 90 remaining. There will be 2-3 added minutes for all the substitutions, etc.
Yeah, Elliot Evans and Louis Rees, or Louis Rees just walking away from it. I said, look, we talked before about Elliot's quality, so he's got Chauvin and Joe Evans and Emlyn Lewis to aim for.
Here's Jordan Williams, falls to Emlyn Lewis, and on the volley, just snatched at it, and wayward effort from Emlyn Lewis.
Yeah, I think it's just a header that's just looped in the air, and Emlyn's just decided that he's going to pull the trigger. I'm not sure that's his forte, volleys, to be fair to him. But a decent strike, but obviously not on target, and goes out for a TNS goal kick.
Craig Harrison just preparing his fifth substitution. Adrian Sizlovic is about to leave us, and it'll be Tom Jones, or Thomas Jones to give him his full name, who will come on.
Yeah, another young player from the academy at TNS. I think he's one that Craig and the staff rate really highly. He's had some game time in the last few weeks. I think he came on against Newtown actually a few weeks ago, so it's another opportunity for him to get some minutes.
Yeah, Wrexham lad, Tom Jones, and it's Adrian Sizlovic, the captain this afternoon, who departs. So 5 changes made by Craig Harrison, just utilising his bench. There's only Blaine Hudson, who's the outfield player, who hasn't come onto the field. Young, still waiting for his hat-trick, or looking for his hat-trick. Daniels. Danny Davis. Pask.
Yeah, game's gone a bit flat now. I think both sides are pretty settled with the result. Really, it's lost its spark a little bit.
Ball forward now then, here's Young. Is there a hat-trick for Brad Young? Oh, he's brought down surely by Emlyn Lewis. He was. And will it be Brad Young who takes this one? Clear-cut penalty, Chris?
Yeah, it looked it, didn't it? First time, we'll have to have another look at it, but it looked it. I think again though, it's a great run. Or is that a red card? Let's have a look at that. I suppose it ticks the boxes for a red card. We'd have to have another look. It's denying a goal scoring opportunity. But it's come from Young's movement again, really clever, gone in behind, great movement. It's just about to pull the trigger, and it's a foul by Emlyn. We'll have to have another look at it back. It did look untidy. He's remonstrating with the referee a little bit there, Emlyn, but we'll have to have another look. He's got him behind him, arm across, pulled him out.
Oh, such a shame that he's been sent off though, isn't it, as well?
Well, yeah, I suppose, but he hasn't. If the referee feels that he's not made a genuine attempt to play the ball, he tried to play the player, then they're the laws of the game, and that's what's got to happen. You know, and it's a double whammy really. They've conceded a penalty and lost their probably most experienced player as well due to a red card. I don't think Bryn, the referee, has got many places to go. If you in terms of the law of the game, as soon as he gives the penalty. If he deems that it's not been a genuine attempt to play the ball, he's got to send him off.
And it is Brad Young to step up. Alex Lang trying to stop him from the hat-trick. Young takes a step. As a la Bruno Fernandes, and it's the hat-trick. The New Saints 4, Cardiff Met 0. It's all over, if it wasn't already.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like the run-up, but look, it works. It's a good penalty. To be fair to him, he's been a constant thorn in Cardiff Met's side all afternoon, and he probably deserves that, in all fairness, for his performance throughout. And, he caused the foul, drew the foul from Emlyn, won the penalty, and then converted for his hat-trick. So he's had a really good afternoon.
So Brad Young with yet another hat-trick as we enter the final 5 minutes. The New Saints down to the Cardiff Met down to 10 men. It's Colwyn Bay 0, Haverfordwest County 0. Is that a final score, Chris?
Yeah, it looks it, yeah. Final score, 0-0.
So that means Colwyn Bay stay rooted to the bottom of the table on 18 points. As Haverfordwest go up to 31 points. Yeah.
I think Ponty have Ponty are on 17 now with their points deduction. So I think Colwyn Bay go up a place. So they go from bottom, and then and Aber just in front.
Daniels looking to chip the keeper. Yeah, the table we've got here has hasn't shown that point deduction, does it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So Pontypridd at the bottom, yeah.
Colwyn Bay on 17, but obviously Pontypridd have got Penabont away today, and Barry have got to go to Aberystwyth. So an interesting afternoon, in the bottom 6 today.
Yep. Cardiff Met down to 10 men. Emlyn Lewis conceding the penalty and then seeing the red card for that tug on Brad Young, who got up and completed his hat-trick.
It is harsh, you conceded the penalty. It is a penalty, and then your talisman, your most experienced player, gets a red card as well, and he's going to be missing games in the upcoming weeks as well for it. But look, the referee has applied the law. We can all argue whether the law's right or not, but he's applied the laws of the game, and he deemed that Emlyn hasn't made an attempt to play the ball and fouled Brad Young, and hence why the red cards happened.
And fair play to James Walker. It's his first JD Prem match of the season, and he's done all right, hasn't he?
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot to do. He's probably had 2 big decisions. He's had the Alex Lang one that's come out of his box, and then he's had the penalty kick, and you'd probably say that he's probably got both right. Alex Lang's was a yellow card. I just probably feel he's got the Emlyn one right as well. But you're 3-0 down, opportunity probably conceded a penalty to go 4, and you lose one of your most experienced players. And Ryan won't be probably worried about the game today because the game's gone. But next week, I think they've got Newtown next week, so that'll be something that may affect Cardiff Met next week, losing one of their most experienced players. Put it one way, Bryn, if I was manager in Newtown, I'd be delighted if he was missing next week.
Yeah. Well, Mets, they've conceded 8, they've conceded 5, now they've conceded 4 against the New Saints this season. They've scored once. McManus just holds the ball up. We'll be looking forward to the Scottish Challenge Cup final. Will Declan McManus playing Airdrie at Falkirk, where he used to play. He used to ply his trade, did Declan McManus. Joe Evans to Elliot Evans. There's Danny Davis. Danny Williams, Josh Pask. We're into the final minute of the 90. Danny Williams looking for Young once again, and it just took a touch there with Chris Craven, and it runs out for a corner kick.
Yeah, I think the man of the match has got announced by TNS. I don't know who Mark's going to go to.
I think it's Mark's choice as well.
Yeah, I don't think there was anyone else really, was there? I think it was nailed on for him. I think he scored a hat-trick. And felt Marks is a forward player as well, and he wasn't going to go anywhere else, I didn't think. No, he's been very good. We talked about him probably from the first couple of minutes. Yeah, there you go. He's been man of the match. But we talked about him from the first couple of minutes. His movement, his anticipation, his quality. And he'll probably feel that he probably could have had 2 or 3 more as well. He's missed 2. The header in the first half and the one that's hit the bar. With his high standards and the way he plays the game, we probably feel that we should have scored them.
So Evan Cadwallader comes on for the added time to replace Joe Evans. Haven't seen the board of added time yet. There's balls lofted in, looking for Danny Davis, and Alex Lang as well. Under pressure, and indeed the referee adds no time at all, and it's Ryan Jenkins who congratulates Craig Harrison on their victory, and also in winning the JD Cymru Premier for season 2023-24. It was a hat-trick from Brad Young after 15, 21 and 85 minutes. Ben Clark chipped in as well after 31 minutes. And it's the New Saints, their 16th title, their 3rd in a row. And it was comfortable in the end. And the final score here, New Saints 4, Cardiff Met 0. And it'll be Nicky John with Craig Harrison.
Well, Craig, it's the 2nd of March and there's another TNS League title in the bag. Can you sum up your emotions and feelings?
Yeah, really, really pleased. This is what we work hard for all week, all month and all season. We had a fantastic lead for a while now, but until it's done, it's not done. We've got to keep our heads on it. We knew it wasn't going to be an easy game today. We started really well, and to get a lead as quick as what we did, and then I thought after that, the game fizzled out a little bit the second half, but yeah, everyone's, I don't think it'll feel as good as the first one I ever had, but after that they've all been fantastic, and you can't get used to it.
Can I ask you what pleased you the most this afternoon? Not just about the performance, but of your players' attitude as well.
Yeah, it is. You know, we spoke about it earlier. We've got a strong squad, and if people don't turn up and people don't work hard and people don't apply themselves in the correct way, then they're not going to be in the team. You know, we're very, very fortunate that we've got 20 players that do that on a daily, weekly basis, and it shows on the pitch. And you know, before anything, we score some fantastic goals, play some fantastic football, but before anything, make sure that we work hard, and we work as hard, if not harder, than the opposition. You know, and I think certainly this season, you know, the boys have proved that as well.
It's time to go and enjoy the celebrations, Craig. Llongyfarchiadau mawr, many congratulations.
Thank you very much, Nicky. Thank you. Thank you.
Craig Harrison yn ddyn bodlon, mae'n siŵr. Dyma nhw, y pencampwyr, trydydd tro yn olynol. Felly, jyst i atgoffa pawb bod rhywun di ennill y gyngrair eflaw y Teinti Newydd yn ddiweddar. Cei Conan gwneud ni ddwywaith yn olynol. Ond 16 pencampwriaeth nawr, mae'n dipyn o record iddyn nhw. Tommy Morgan o ran tymor yma, ni sôn am 4 cystadleuaeth. Felly mae 2 yn y bag fel petai. Ond wedi ennill y gyngrair, ennill cwpan y gyngrair. Ti'n gwybod yn ennill y cyfan?
Mae siawns da ganddyn nhw. E bos o goni bai. Chywod, maen nhw'n gwneud gwaith hawdd o'r gêm a prawn yma. Falle bydd Met yn edrych ni wedi anerio sgôr o'r 8-4. Felly gêm fawr ddyn nhw nawr mewn pethefnos yn gêm gynderfynol. Ond prawn yma, fel gweddill y tymor yn y gwaith y gêmau hyd yn hyn, maen nhw wedi bod yn wych. Bydd ni'n hoffi amdani nhw, maen nhw'n chwarae pêl-droed deniadol iawn. Rhywbeth yn debyg, ond safonau gwahanol Manchester City, fod elyddio heddi, 5 chwaraewr yn dod ar y maes, mwyaf debyg wedi cerdded mewn i unrhyw dîm arall yn yngred Cymru. Felly, bod mae safonau da i gael yma.
Nathon ni oedd y chwaraewyr yn crwydro am gylchicau, felly 24 buddigoliaeth yn olynol. Nawr, 27 yw'r records, a gêm rhif 27 yw'r rownd cwpan her yr Alban yn Falkirk efo'n Adrionians. Mae hwnna'n teimlo fel yr her mwyaf iddyn nhw.
Wel, mae hwnna'n mynd dipyn o challenge i ni wy. Oedd bant o gatre, lan yr Alban. Ond peth yw, maen nhw wedi dangos bod nhw'n gallu amddiffyn fel yn rownd gynderfynol erbyn Falkirk. Felly, mae ganddyn nhw'r chwaraewyr sy'n gallu codi gymau hefyd. Ac y trawsnewidiad o Aston a Hudson, 2 chwaraewr, 6 troedfedd, 6 modfedd, a nawr Pasg a Davies, gyflym, dim o'r gorfforol falle, ond chwaraewyr da.
Felly ni'n barod am y seremoni. Dwi'n credu, dyma'r cwpan trawiadol unwaith eto. Ni'n gwybod mai dyma fydd unfed tro'r 15 i'r seintiau wneud hyn, neu dyma fydd yr unfed tro'r 15 i Nick Parry ddisgrifio hyn, o le mae fe'n gwybod beth sy'n dod, draw at chi, Nick.
Thank you, Dylan, yes. The presentation ceremony begins. The champions of the JD Cymru Premier for 2023 and 2024, yet again for the 16th time, for the 3rd year in a row. And it's very, very difficult, Chris Hughes, to see who can actually stop them from going on for the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th.
Yeah, we talked about it in the commentary, Brendan, didn't we? You know, this now means that they go into the Champions League first qualifying round and all the trappings that brings. So it does become very difficult. Look, 3 years ago, Connors Key, I think, won the league twice on the bounce under Andy and his team. But you know, TNS then stepped it up a notch, and we talked about the standard of the players that they brought in, and you know, again they've gone to the next level. And I suppose now for them, and knowing Craig, he'll be wanting to finish the season off well with the 2 trophies that they've got and win that quadruple. Obviously, the Airdrie game coming up soon, the Cardiff Met semi-final in a couple of weeks. So it's a big month for them. I know they've got a couple of league games in between that, but you know, certainly the Airdrie game, and then I think the Cardiff Met game's the week after. So you know, he'll have his eye on them, and then you know, once the domestic season's done, you know, I'm sure he'll be having his eye on Europe in the first week in July.
And he'll want to win the 6 remaining league games as well.
Well, of course, you know, you talked about the points record before, and you know, and I'm sure he'll have his eye on that. And he'll want to do that. You know, that's the standards that keeps driving TNS. And obviously, you know, we come back to the club a couple of years ago. We had a couple of spells away at certain clubs, and you know, come back and you know, he's won two league titles on the bounce, and you know, he's in there every day driving them on, and you know, they've got good players, and look, some of the recruitment that they've done in the last 2 or 3 seasons has been very good as well. You know, you have to mention that.
One that they signed recently, by the way, that we haven't seen is Matthew Olosunde, the USA cap. It shows, as you say, the standard of player that they're bringing in, that they're actually bringing in a USA international player.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was ex-Man United as well, United as a young kid. So, yeah, and I'm sure this, they'll go again and try and drive the standards again and bring in a couple more. And you see the man Chris Marriott there, who's been at the forefront really for TNS in the last, 12, 13, 14 years, with the league titles that he's won, and he's picking up another one again. And but I keep saying it, I know they want to win the trophies, and I bet Europe's the test for him as well.
He's actually presented the trophy to himself there. Chris Marriott confirms that y Pencampwyr, the champions for a 16th season, a 3rd consecutive time, are the new Saints. Many, many congratulations to Craig Harrison and his coaching staff and all the squad here at Park Hall. What an achievement. Champions once again. It was a hat-trick from Brad Young.
Diolch yn fawr iawn. Mae'n stori wir. Cwpan y byd 1958. Oedd clybiau ddim yn codi cwpan ar ddiwedd gemau. Nath Brazil ennill cwpan y byd. Oedd y boes Cameron cwyno bod nhw'n methu gweld y cwpan. Captain Brazil yn codi'r cwpan i'r awyr. Na'r tro cynta i rywun codi cwpan yn uchel yn ôl y llyfrau hanes. Chi methu codi'r cwpan yma, so jyst rhi drwm. Yr unig bang yn 2 ohonoch chi i codi'r cwpan yma. O, maen nhw'n codi'r cwpan. Y peth mwy anodd, maen nhw'n dweud rhyw pnawn dy gred i codi'r cwpan, Tommy, ond i lot o rhaid. Mae'n brofiad newydd i'r rhai yn o fel Brad Young, un o'ch chi'n gweld Leo Smith yn mwynhau. Maen nhw yn heiddiau, yn amlwg, dolio draws mwydwg, fi Tommy, cyn chi gael gair, o'ch chi'n cael ymateb. Mae Chris Marriott gyda Nicky John, mae fe'n hen gyfarwydd a gwneud hyn. Draw dy ti, Nicky?
Well, Chris, for some of these boys behind you, it's a completely new experience this afternoon. But for you, getting your hands on the trophy is something that you've done a few times before, 12 in all, I think. So first of all, congratulations for that. Can you sum up your emotions this afternoon?
Yeah, just job done. Probably relief more than anything. TNS, the expectations to win the league every year. You get used to it in the end, obviously the pressure. We are expected to win, but you need to go and do the job. And obviously when we didn't win the league those few years I've been here, it shows that it can happen. So you've got to be switched on at all times, and it's still a great achievement.
Do you think it's fair to say that this season as well, that the team really seems to have evolved in all positions, really? It seems like a really strengthened side this season.
Yeah, I think it's a very strong squad, isn't it? We've got 2 players, even more, for every position that could easily play any game. Got some great players. As you say, you look at the bench today, I think it's really strong bench, and lads in the stand as well. They're great players, so it shows the great squad we got.
We did mention this is something that you've the experience of doing a few times before. Where does this one compare? How would you compare it?
It's hard to compare, and they're all different, and probably because we won it by such a big margin early, it probably takes the emotion from the celebration today, but it's been coming for a while, hasn't it? But it's still a great achievement, and something we need to celebrate.
So 2 cups down and potentially another 2 to go as well.
Exactly, yeah, we've got to win them 2, haven't we, to complete the season. I think we'll be gutted not to win them all, but we've got to be on our game, carry on playing professional league games, and just crack on from there.
Chris, go and enjoy the celebrations. Many congratulations. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Thanks, Nicky. Nice one. Cheers.
Llong fawr iadau iddo fe, diddorol clywed yn gweud, maen nhw eisiau'r 4, yn dyn nhw. Maen nhw eisiau ennill y 4. Mae'r clybiau'n cwrdd eto mewn cwpl wythnosau, Tommy, yn rownd gynderfynol. Cwpan Cymru, wrth i ni weld y golwg gwych, gweld y... Mae'n mwy o waith, dal y fel allan o'r rhoed yn dweud i Conor Roberts. Ond just o ran y rownd gynderfynol Cwpan Cymru, sut mae Met yn 3 yn y gêm, neu sut maen nhw'n newid pethau. O leia, colli 8 i ddim, nawr colli o 4 i ddim, maen nhw'n bron na.
Ie, mi cael ei... Wnaethon nhw wthio emlyn mlaen, neu llinell mlaen am 2 funud yn ystod y gêm na heddi. Bydd rhaid nhw ar y 4 yn y cefn i fi. Os yw nhw ar yr un system, y senti newydd gyda Brad Young, un yn mysodwr, Chewi Mangor, 3 chwaraewr amddiffynwr i marco fe. Felly fydd nhw newid y system yna. A hefyd, gêm mae'n bwysig just mynd am y gêm a mynd am y gyddygfe. A hefyd, nath neb rili daclo Brad Young yma. Mae eisiau rhoi rhywun roi dros y ffens. Mae'n rhaid ti gystadlu a dangos bod chi eisiau ennill y gêm ar gael rhyw frwdfrydedd. Dim pwynt bod yn pasif a gadael bethau y diwrnod.
Dwi'n gobeithio bod e ddim yn gwrando, cos ni'n mynd i glywed wrtho fe nawr. Ni ddim yn mynd i taflu fe dros y ffens, dyna ni draw at Nicky John.
Well, Brad Young, the man of the moment, I think it's fair to say. That wasn't a bad afternoon at the office, was it?
I mean, yeah, coming into the game knowing if we would get 3 points to win the league, obviously was over the moon with it, and to get my hat-trick, I'm obviously over the moon individually, but most important thing, we won the league and we set our goals, but it doesn't mean that it's over. We still go again, and we've got upcoming games coming up, and that are really important.
Yeah, we've just been speaking to Chris Marriott, who obviously has won this league with this club 12 times before, but for you, it was a first experience. How does it feel?
I mean, yeah, like I've said plenty of times, I've come here to win trophies, score goals, and I've won 2 trophies so far, but we've got 2 more that we want to win, and we want to stay undefeated for the rest of the season, so the goals hasn't stopped. We've got new goals that we want to set.
I came down and spoke to you here a few weeks ago, and you mentioned at that point that one of your own personal goals for this season was to hit 30 goals. That's looking increasingly likely, not only to do that, but to surpass it as well.
Yeah, I said 30 plus. Obviously, I want more, I'm greedy. I think I'm on 29 now, so the next goal would be set another task and I hit 40, so that's what I'll be driving for next.
And that penalty this afternoon as well to seal the hat-trick, I don't think I've seen many taken with more confidence.
Yeah, I practice it every day after training at Villa. I've done it like 15 times now, and it's gone in the back of the net every time, so I've locked it. I know how to master it. If the keeper stands down the middle, if I put it further enough in the corner, he's never going to get there. If he dives early, I go the opposite way, because I don't even know where I'm going again until last second when I look up. So, yeah.
And now I suppose it's just a matter of securing that quadruple, is it?
Yeah, securing it and going the whole season undefeated. We've got new goals that we want to set, and plus 100 goals for the end of the season.
Well, listen, many congratulations. Enjoy the celebrations. Diolch yn fawr iawn, Brad Young.
Thank you.
Ie, llongyfarchiadau mawr iddo fe. Dwi'n gweld mwy o'r to ifanc yn ymuno yn y dathliadau hefyd. Mae pob un o'n nhw nawr wedi gweud, maen nhw wedi sôn am y 4, maen nhw wedi sôn am mynd drwy tymor heb golli. Yn amlwg, na i targedau nhw, Tommy.
Wel, sicr, sy'n darllen nhw chwarae amdano nawr, os e. Mae'r gyngred wedi cael ei ennill prynawn yma, felly y ddoi gêm gwpa sydd ar y rôl am rhaid nhw'n amdani.
Ie, mae'n mynd i fod yn ddiddorol. Mwy o'r golygfeydd gwych yma. Fan hyn, wrth ochr y cae, ni wedi gweld Leo Smith yn chwaraewr hapus ac yn dad balch. Mae ferch fach gyda fe yma heddi hefyd, draw at ni at Nicky.
Leo, dwi'n gwybod os dwi'n gallu gwneud y cyfweliad yma. Heb siarad mewn llais bach gwirion. Dwi'n meddwl bod gen ti'r wobr ora un yn dyddwylo yn fanno, ond llongyfarchiadau mawr, sut wyt ti'n teimlo?
Na, da ni wrth yn bodda yma. Dwi'n mynd â un o as y mam, dwi'n meddwl. Ond na, da ni gyd yn falch. Mae'n rhywbeth o'n ni eisiau gwneud, a da ni wedi gallu gwneud yna. Dwi'n falch bod hi yma hefyd.
Ia, mae nôl o bach yn camera siai ar hyn o bryd, ond na ddim amheuaeth pnawn ma o gwbl mewn gwirionedd, nag oedd ydych chi'n edrych yn gyfforddus iawn o'r cychwyn cyntaf?
Oed, da ni'n gwybod erbyn unrhyw tîm, maen nhw'n dod i TNS, maen nhw'n eisiau gwneud o'n anodd i ni, ond da ni'n angen ei siŵr bod da ni'n gweithio'n galad, da ni'n gweithio ar gêm ni, a ella bod o'n gyffyrddus, ond da ni'n angen cadw'r sefonnau'n uchel a neu siŵr da ni'n mynd dropio hynna. Weithiau ella da ni'n tynnu'r troed off y pedal, ond da ni'n angen ei siŵr bod da ni'n cadw'r sefonnau yna i bob gêm da ni'n chwarae.
Mae'r sefynnau yna wedi bod yn amlwg drwy gydol y tymor yma. 2 dlws wedi sicrhau, a 2 arall ar ôl rwan.
Oes, mae'n targed athyn ni setio allan cyn cychwyn y tymor, ond na, da ni ar fin yn neud yna, ond da ni dal angen gweithio'n galad bob gêm, ond targed i ni fynd trwy y gyngor heb colli hefyd, so mae'n tasg anodd, ond tasg dwi'n meddwl ni'n neud, ie.
Leo, llongyfarchiadau mawr iawn. Diolch i ti, ond diolch yn bennaf i Nola fach. Diolch, Nola!
Diolch fawr iawn.
Gwych. Ie, Leo Smith yn fyna. Mae rhaid o grymu bod angen dymu'r Tommy ar ôl rhoi sylwadau fe. Ni'n caru Tommy Morgan, go iawn. Ie, jyst i gloi, ti'n llongyfarchiadau'n amlwg i'r seintiau. Am hynny, draw i'r gweddill, sut chi'n stopio nhw? Na'r her i'r clybiau eraill am hynny. Beth sy'n poeni fi weithio bod y clybiau eraill jyst wedi mynd, o na fe, maen nhw mor dda, dim byd ni'n gallu neud, mae hwnna'n ffordd berygl. Dim bod fi'n gweud mai dyna ffordd maen nhw'n meddwl, ond mae hwnna'n ffordd beryglus os mae'n ffordd ni'n mynd.
Falle bod eisiau rhywun fel Andy Morrison i ddod yn ôl i'r gynglair a rhoi challenge i nhw. Oherwydd pam nath e rhoi challenge, methu nhw. Ond i fod yn deg, maen nhw wedi cael tymor gwych gyda'n hyn. Os na gewn nhw'r 4 nawr, bydd nhw'n tymor siomedig yn bydd e. Wel ie, maen nhw wedi sôn, dyna'r target yn amlwg, dyna'r golygfeydd. Y cwpan wedi godi, llongyfarchiadau'r Seintiau Newydd yn ben campwyr unwaith eto. Diolch am eich cwmni chi, lot mwy o bêl-droed i ddod dros y dyddiau ar wythnos nesaf. Fyw fan hyn ar sgorio, hwyl fawr i chi.